On day 1, I woke up in a strange building with no memories. I was a baby macaroni penguin with only 5 hearts. Ouch, my cool yellow feathered head. Someone is gonna pay for making my head hurt.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon. And macaroni, it seems. I've been waiting forever for a new player to spawn here. Will you be interesting? Or will you be one of the boring ones who gets snuffed out straight away?
I looked up and saw that a Ravager, an incredibly strange creature, was looking down on me from a platform.
You look like a penguin caught in the headlights. Don't tell me you've never been dragged into another universe to compete in a death game before.
A death game?
Oh yeah, muchacho. I'm Randy Ravager, the MC with the M-O-S-T. Spell it out, it'll make sense.
I tried to get out of the building, but I couldn't. There were no doors, and there was nowhere I could go.
The aim of the game is simple. Even for some penguin-looking dork like you, you're going to be trapped in this icy nightmare world for 100 days. And the only way you're gonna get out of this, other than in a wooden box, is by being the only creature left alive when those 100 days are up.
What? But that's so evil!
Thank you, I'm touched. Take a looky-loo in that chest over yonder. You'll find your starting gear. I even gave you a special ability, which you'll find out about soon.
I noticed a chest nearby and opened it up, finding a stone sword, a stone pickaxe, and a strange helmet inside.
That there's a transceiver helmet, boyo. When you're wearing it, you'll be able to hear my voice anywhere.
Oh, goody.
No sarcasm. Only I'm allowed sarcasm here. I'm going to release you now. And my boys, the Pillager Squad, are gonna make sure you play fair. Remember, only one can survive. And you've got 100 days to do it, baby. Randy, out.
After I equipped the sword and the transceiver helmet, a block of TNT destroyed one of the walls of the special base. Immediately, a bunch of pillagers with firework crossbows poured in.
There he is. Let's give Cobblepot over here some motivation to fight hard.
They fired their explosive projectiles at me, but just before any of them could land a hit, I suddenly warped a short distance past them all. That must be the special power that the Ravager gave me. I better make the most of it and get out of here. I warped away, thinking about how hard it'd be to win the death game and survive the 100 days.
And believe me, Zozo, the craziest stuff is yet to come.
On day 2, I found that there was more to the frozen lake biome than I had thought. The water would be cold for most creatures, but not for a macaroni penguin like me. I swam leisurely in the water until I found a school of flesh-eating piranhas. They swam towards and tried to bite me, and I thought 2 could play at that game. I chopped away at the piranhas until they were fillet fish. The tables had turned. Finally, some good food. The piranhas were a lot more tasty than I thought they'd be, but I guess fish are always a meal fit for a bird. I had barely finished my first meal in this cold and evil world when the pillagers who worked for the Game Master came over to cramp my style.
Hey, Happy Feet, it looks like you haven't got into a fight to the death with anyone on the overworld yet, and we don't like that sort of thing. It makes the pacing too slow, you know?
Get off my back. I killed those piranhas, didn't I?
They weren't players. They were just incidental entities in the world.
Oh, so now you're throwing $10 words at me. I was just trying to fill my belly before I started. That's all.
Well, you would better be full now, because we're teleporting you to a random player in the biome now. Have fun!
The pillagers teleported me to another part of the frozen lake, and suddenly I was standing in front of some kind of deer thing. Hold up, what are you supposed to be? I'm a greater kudu, man. Not to be confused with a lesser kudu. I also answer to Kudu A, Super Kudu, Kudu King, Kudu Dynamite, and Chocolate Thunder.
Thunder.
Oh, I'm confused, alright. And when I'm confused, I get in the mood to fight a guy. Are you that guy?
Chill out, Penguin Man. Get it? Because we're in a frozen wasteland. Anyway, we don't have to fight now. And I'll tell you why after I take you to see someone important.
Someone important? They better be. I followed after Chocolate Thunder to meet this supposedly important person. On day 3, Chocolate Thunder led me further across the frozen lake.
See that camp over there? That's where the Hammerhead Shark hangs out.
The Hammerhead Shark? That'd make a pretty sick name for a metal band.
It's true. That's why he was the front man for the biggest metal band in his universe, till Randy Ravager teleported him here. He's unique among the participants here for one reason.
He's a giant fish on steroids.
Okay, for 2 reasons. That, and also the fact that he survived a previous game. Randy Ravager found him so entertaining that he brought him back for this round. Go warp over to him. Maybe he can give you some advice, or destroy you. I don't know, depends on the mood he's in.
Heck yeah, time to roll the dice. I warped over to the base of the Hammerhead Shark, ready for a big fight. But he actually just looked incredibly sad.
Hello, stranger. Are you familiar with Albert Camus?
Can't say that I am.
He spoke of the myth of Sisyphus, a man doomed by the gods to roll a boulder up a hill every day, only for it to tumble back down. Camus posited that we have to imagine Sisyphus as happy, accepting the absurdity and meaninglessness of his own existence and imposing his own meaning on life.
Wow, that's really deep. So can you teach me any cool fighting techniques?
What? So you can survive this game and join another? Don't trust the words of Randy Ravager. Own rules are mutable. He'll twist them to his advantage. We can only escape if we smash the boulder itself.
I was still confused by the things that the Hammerhead Shark had said, and was also curious if his music was any good, but it didn't seem like the right time to ask. Turning the knowledge over in my mind, I left to try and find whatever came next in this scary icy world. From day 4 to day 5, I heard Randy the Ravager speak to me through the transceiver helmet.
Attention, all jabronis currently in my death game. If you don't want to make yourself an easy target for other players and wandering mobs, you should construct a base out of some of the Arctic terrain materials. Just my advice, because I'm sick of watching you losers get got without a real fight. Toodles, fools!
Well, when in Rome, or whatever saying applies to being told to build a base in a nightmare death game world. Being a penguin, I used my natural affinity for snow to start constructing a battle fortress out of ice blocks. The base I was building was stone cold, sturdy, and made entirely of cubes, just like me. Once I had constructed the foundation for my base, Chocolate Thunder came by for a visit.
Zozo, I see that you've obeyed the command from Randy. I've come to warn you about a dangerous player that is headed your way.
Dangerous player? Tell me more.
He's a type of player called a base jacker. He waits until another player has built a strong defense base and then kills him to steal their hard work.
Wow, what a jerk. They aren't getting my base though. I'll show this base jacker what I'm made of. Soon, I saw the base jacker coming over the horizon, a surprisingly small mushroom creature.
Hey, you! That's a pretty nice base. Mind if I take it? And your life in the process?
Not today, base jacker, or any other day, because you won't have any other days, because you'll be dead, because I'm eliminating you from the death game. I drew my stone sword and did battle with the base jacker. His mushroom punches were surprisingly strong and dealt poison damage to my hearts. But an enemy that relies on trickery like base jacking couldn't be that tough. As my stone sword delivered the final blow on the enemy player, I felt the helmet vibrate and chime.
Congratulations on your first win! I will now dispense your reward.
I felt my total number of hearts increase to 20, and I also gained another ability.
May your knockback punch chill and destroy your fellow players. You're one cool fool.
Feels weird to be congratulated by such a bad dude, but whatever. New power! From day 6 to day 8, I got another nasty message in my mind. Virtue of the transceiver helmet. It was Randy Ravager again.
Yo, surf's up! But your incredibly lame win count is keeping me down. Didn't you get the memo about this being a death game? Not a let's all braid each other's hair and talk about our dreams game.
Wow, you're not just an evil supervillain, you're a regular old jerk too.
Oh yeah! Both are on my business card, baby. And you're gonna have a bunch of pillagers shooting firework arrows at you if you don't get your keister in gear and go fight. Seriously, I'm dying of boredom over here.
Just because I didn't want to hear him talk anymore, I decided to leave the biome and head to the frozen peaks. With only 92 days left to level up my score, I did need to start some fights. It was a long and treacherous climb up the peaks, but I saw another battle was taking place between an ocelot and a bald eagle. Oh no, the two symbols of America are fighting! The ocelot was holding his own, but the eagle clearly had the advantage.
By beak, by claw, by wing, bye-bye. There's no way you're winning this one, Ocelot.
Please have mercy. I'm just trying to survive.
Oh, what a coincidence. I'm just trying to destroy you.
This seemed like a perfect opportunity to win a victory and stop a bully, so I warped right in front of the eagle. Time for some bird versus bird action. But by the end of this, I'm gonna be the free bird, and you're gonna be, the defeated bird.
A worthy opponent. Our battle shall be legendary.
And it was pretty legendary. We fought in a legendary fashion for a brief period, as I used my knockback punch and swung my blade until I won and he lost. Only one can stand at the top of the world, and it's gonna be me, Zozo. Afterwards, the ocelot approached me, seeming so grateful for me having saved his life.
That was amazing. Thank you, Zozo. I am Ozzy the Ocelot. It would have been horrible if I died there. Back in my home dimension, I was only a week away from retirement, and my wife's about to have twins.
It's okay, Ozzy. I'm sure you'll live a long and healthy life. Also, Ozzy is an anagram of Zozo.
Actually, it isn't. But if you're down to put your money where your beak is, Zozo, there's a really strong death game player lurking a little further up the peaks. He destroyed my whole team, and I can't beat him alone. I need the help of a true master to defeat him.
A true master, you say? That sounds like moi's truly. From day 9 to day 10, I climbed higher into the frozen peaks with my new traveling companion, Ozzy the Ocelot.
Thanks again for beating up that mean old eagle. It was so cool. You were like kaboom and...
Don't make sounds. That's not charming anymore.
Sorry, I'm just excitable, you know. My personality is so naive and relatable. Yippee! Nothing bad ever happens to characters like me in death game stories.
Sure, Ozzy. Why are we out here again?
Oh my golly gosh, Zozo. Did you forget about my tragic backstory? About how I lost all my teammates to a top player in these very peaks?
Oh, right. Sorry. This transceiver helmet is cooking my brain like macaroni, which is ironic, considering...
Considering what?
Where's this player again?
Oh, he's right up there.
I climbed up to the peak, and there he was. Pidgeotto, you know, from Pokemon?
You wanna fight me, you flightless freak? I knew Ash Ketchum!
You're about to know defeat, bucko! I drew my stone sword, but Pidgeotto tackled me so fast that I wasn't able to swing it in time. I was nearly knocked off the peak, and that wouldn't have boded well because I am in fact flightless. I tried to counter with my knockback, but Pidgeotto was just too fast. Well, this is lame. I'm not throwing my one shot at this death game away on this. I ran away from the battle, and being a Pokemon, Pidgeotto respected my decision. I returned to Ozzy the Ocelot, slightly ashamed of my battle performance. Hey, Ozzy, couldn't get the job done. Sorry, buddy. You can come live at my base if you like.
Oh, thanks, Zozo. And don't worry, I'm sure you'll defeat Pidgeotto one day and go very far in this death game, and so will I.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Ozzy the Ocelot, and we made preparations to turn it into our base by building more igloos with a room for Ozzy. It didn't seem like Ozzy was that capable in a fight, and that would prove difficult for him as Randy's battle game progressed, so I made sure to add a training room so that both of us could brush up on our combat skills. Hate to admit it, but even I need some more training if I'm going to defeat Pidgeotto. While I was at it, I realized that a base made of snow and ice might be too cold for an animal that wasn't a penguin, and so I built a fireplace near the room where Ozzy would be staying, so he'd have a comfortable heating while he lived here. Once I was done, I showed all the improvements to Ozzy. The fuzzy little guy was clearly very impressed.
This is incredible, Zozo. I feel like I probably should have been doing the work, but I make up for my complete lack of confidence with my likability and enduring spirit.
You sure do, Ozzy. Sure do. That's when I heard another message from Randy the Ravager through the transceiver helmet.
Attention, you miserable bunch of amateurs and fools! It seems as though many players have been eliminated in the past several days. That's why, in order to spice things up, I'm gonna be giving out new weapons that complement your special abilities. In the mining caverns beneath your bases, you'll find a treasure chest with your new weapons. Use them wisely and keep on fighting for my amusement.
Oh, sweet. I guess winning so much has its perks, but it's a little messed up that so many creatures got destroyed for this. I traveled down into the icy mining cavern and searched for the treasure chest that Randy had left for me. On my way through, I found an iron pickaxe lying on the icy cave floor. Someone must have left this here. Probably someone who was already eliminated. I'll go ahead and take this for myself. I traveled further down the icy path until I came across a totally normal and unsuspicious spot. I grabbed my new iron pickaxe and mined my way forward until I found the promised treasure chest. Inside was a frozen sword, a special weapon that would let me channel the energy of my knockback punch into a slowing effect. Heck yes! I can already tell this will make me a better fighter in my next battle. From day 13 to day 15, I decided it was time to consult someone who clearly knew a lot more about what was going on here. Chocolate Thunder, the great Kudo male. I don't know the best thing to do, Chocolate Thunder. Feels like days are running out so quickly, and I don't know how to progress forward.
I don't think it's that hard, Zozo. You've just gotta fight. Find another creature to battle and bump those numbers up. Maybe return to the frozen peaks, since, you know, you got a good win there before.
Wait, how did you know I got a win on the peaks the other day?
Oh, don't you remember, Zozo? You told me about it the other day. You laughed and laughed. All this stress must be affecting your memory.
That's a little concerning. Not worrying too much about that, I headed off to the frozen peaks, hoping to find a new enemy to defeat. It's so evil how Randy Ravager is pitting us all against each other. Can't we all just work together and be friends to build a better future?
Wow, I'm a big dumb baby. Will someone change my diaper? I did a big stinky. That's what you sound like to me right now, Zozo.
It was the voice of Randy Ravager coming to me over my helmet. You're so mean, Randy. Is this why you have to teleport people into a death game to hang out with you?
Your insults can't hurt me, bozo. I don't even like people that much. It's why I like watching them fight. It's why this next opponent is gonna be so fun. Will you have the guts to take her on? Or will you run crying back to Mr. Popper? Let's rock!
That moment, a big, scary monster was teleported right in front of me. A mummy scorpion.
So, you're my new opponent? Very well then. I'll have to fight you for my children!
You have kids? The battle began, and it was the most intense I'd ever faced. Randy clearly didn't want me to escape this one alive, and since I was weaker than Mummy Scorpion, I needed another way to get out of this. Wait, Mummy Scorpion, time out!
You can't trick me, Zozo.
I'm not trying to trick you. I want us to work together. You've got kids to worry about, right? I don't want them to lose their mother, whether it's to me or anyone else. Let's work together and escape this thing alive.
Wow, I never thought of it like that. I'll work with you, Zozo. We'll escape this thing together.
Randy seemed angry over my helmet.
Oh,
this is terrible! Friendship? You guys are taking all the fun out of this after I worked so hard to put the whole thing together.
Sorry to disappoint you, Randy. Not! From day 16 to day 19, I discovered a new part of the icy dimension where Randy the Ravager was holding the death game. A frozen river flowed elegantly across the land, leading to more unknown places to explore. I decided to go for a little swim. While I was paddling along, I saw a group of pillagers gathering on the bank of the river. There were no other players around except for me, so I figured it must be some sort of secret riddle. I dove beneath the surface and swam over to the shore so I could listen in on what the pillagers were saying.
Is anyone else getting tired of hearing Randy ramble away about how fun his game is? I swear, if we had to wear those dorky transceiver helmets and receive his every thought, I'd be putting in my 2 weeks and applying for a job with the next evil game master. Let's all just be grateful that the true mastermind is more of a good sport. He's the one keeping the whole shebang running like clockwork. Then again, we don't even know what he looks or sounds like.
True mastermind? I thought Randy was the one in charge of the game, but I guess I was mistaken. I remained hidden and kept on listening.
Hey, don't talk too loud about the true mastermind. If any players find out about him, we'd have to teleport them out of the game and eliminate them ourselves.
Pillagers soon dispersed, and I was left with many questions. I can't risk telling any of the other players about the true mastermind for now. It could put them in danger, or me, if they report me to the pillagers. From day 20 to day 22, I crafted myself an iron chestplate from the iron ingots I made using the iron ore I was able to dig up in the mining cavern. This durable piece of armor would be the last piece of equipment I would need to face Pidgeotto and eliminate him from the competition. Ozzy's teammates will be avenged! I climbed back up Frozen Peak to the same spot where Pidgeotto was still awaiting challengers. I'm back, you mid-tier pocket monster!
Well, if it isn't the flightless freak, I was looking forward to eliminating you.
He flew towards me, but I was ready for his speed this time. I warped behind him and struck him with my frozen sword. The slowing took effect immediately, and now his speed was equal to mine. And with my increased armor, I knew I could outlast him in a battle of hack and slash. We fought each other until Pidgeotto couldn't fly anymore and landed on top of the hill to catch his breath. This was my chance! I warped a short distance and used my knockback punch to knock him off the cliff that was a direct hit on Pidgeotto, and it was just the trick to take him down! How is that for super effective, you Pokemoron?
Your opponent's elimination record was very high, so please enjoy this big reward!
Big was an understatement. My health was raised several hearts, and I gained a new ability as well. With my new Ice Blast, I could freeze my enemies in place. It goes well with my frozen sword. With my knockback punch, I have the perfect combination of abilities to fight any enemies I come across. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base victorious and excited to tell Ozzy the Ocelot about the victory I'd gained. Ozzy! Ozzy! Ozzy!
Oi, oi, oi!
I managed to defeat that Pokemon from before, so we're just a little bit closer to surviving this.
That's amazing, Zozo! You deserve to sit back and relax after that.
Little did I know, tragedy was about to strike. As I was walking away, I stubbed my toe on a misplaced block, and it really hurt. That is devastating. I'm never gonna let this happen again. It's time to mine. I descended into my favorite mining cavern, ready to get myself some ore. Iron ore, specifically. Yes, this will prevent history from repeating itself. I took my iron ore back to my base, where I used my furnace to smelt them into iron ingots, which made for the perfect material to forge some leggings and a pair of iron boots. I'll never stub my toe again! From day 27 to day 31, I returned to the part of the frozen river where that group of pillagers were having their secret meeting. Maybe I can find out more about the secret behind the games if I can overhear another conversation from Randy's game mastering goons. I waited and waited. Pillagers never showed up. Instead, I saw another Death Game player walking along the banks of the river. She was wearing a black-beaked mask like the plague doctors of medieval times.
Good day, my fine penguin. Are you suffering from any illness or injuries?
No, full health. and I intend to keep it that way, lady.
Oh my, no need to be so aggressive. I may have chosen to participate in this death game, but I much prefer saving lives.
It must suck to be a doctor in a place like this.
On the contrary, this place is a paradise for me. Everyone is always getting wounded, so there are always so many patients to care for.
Huh, that's kind of weird, but it's always good to have a doctor around. Would you like to come live at my base?
Verily.
I returned to the base with the plague doctor and built a medical wing for her to heal her patients in. I had to gather some medicinal herbs from around the area so that she could create healing potions. They were hard to find, but it was for medicine, dang it. I had just finished the final touches on the base upgrades when Chocolate Thunder came to see me.
Zozo, you have to come with me. The hammerhead shark is battling with a powerful player and is in danger of being eliminated.
Not the hammerhead shark. He knew so much about obscure mythology. We hurried to the location so we could save the hammerhead shark. From day 32 to day 35, Chocolate Thunder and I bolted across the cold terrain of the frozen lake in order to reach the place where the hammerhead shark had kept his base. This must be one strong player if the hammerhead shark is threatened. He's a returning champion in Randy's game, and as we've already established, he's a giant snake made of bones.
Everyone meets their match one day, Zozo. The hammerhead shark just took an entire other cycle of the game to get there.
Don't talk like he's already gone, Choco T. We'll get there and back him up against whatever deadly foe is taking him on. We hurried as fast as we could. With my ability to warp a short distance, I got farther ahead and arrived before Chocolate Thunder. When I got there, the base had been destroyed and the pillagers had gathered around.
You players are too late for this death battle. The results have already been decided.
What? Where's the hammerhead shark?
The hammerhead shark has been eliminated.
No, but isn't that his body over there? I saw a hammerhead shark on the ground. By the side of his body was a note. This game is not what it seems. Randy the Ravager isn't the same as he was when I played the first time. Thinks somebody has taken over the game and is using Randy. Suddenly, the bone segment crumbled to dust and the note along with it. No! From day 36 to day 39, I went back to the frozen peaks to explore some more. As I was waddling through the area, I spotted the mummy scorpion. Oh no, you're not going to fight me, are you?
No, not at all. I was actually hoping I could get your help. There's a wither skeleton who's been giving me a lot of trouble. I tried to fight him myself, but since our encounter earlier, I've been focused on getting back to my kids. I'm just a single mom, you know.
A single mummy, right?
This is no laughing matter, Zozo. Please, could you help me? One unwilling game participant to another?
You got it. I got some directions from the mummy scorpion and tracked down the wither skeleton.
Oh, what's this? Fresh meat? Get ready to taste my arrows, little penguin.
Why are you so excited to fight me? This is terrible. We're all in a nightmare.
Not me. This is my dream come true. I love fighting and I love games. The deadlier, the better. Heck, I volunteered for this.
Why would you do that? Oh, I guess you just kind of explained that. But I'm here to stop you. I fired an ice blast at the wither skeleton and a knockback attack.
Man, you're stronger than you look. This is gonna be fun.
Stop having fun! He shot an arrow at me, but I dodged it. I finished the fight off with another ice blast, and with that, the withered skeleton was no more. I did it, Mummy Scorpion!
Oh, thank you so much, Zozo. Maybe we'll get through this together after all. If only I could learn who's behind it all.
We know who it is. It's Randy!
No, Zozo. I don't think it's that simple. Anyway, bye!
From day 40 to day 43, I traveled back to my base and saw that something was different. Hey, this place looks spiffier than it did before.
Oh, that would be me. I thought I'd fix the place up a bit while you were gone. Check it out. Bookshelves and couches. Do you like it?
I do. It's really nice. Thanks, Chocolate Thunder. You're the best roommate ever.
Great. Since you're in a good mood, we invite my friend and another greater kudu to come stay with us. Reasons?
Sure, why not? While all of that was happening, Plague Doctor came to speak with me.
Greetings, my friend. I apologize for the trouble, but might I request your assistance with something?
Yeah, why not? I'm a helpful guy.
Along the frozen river lies a most villainous boat, one that I must request your aid in defeating. I will be ever in your debt, good sir.
Yeah, okay, got it. See you later. I'll go sink that boat. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled to the frozen river. I must have been there too early for any of the bad guys because there was nobody here. I got bored looking for enemies, so I went skating around on the frozen river. Whee! I was having so much fun, I forgot what I was doing.
Hey, Zozo! Cut that out! You're not here to have fun. You're here to do the death game.
Oh, okay, I remember now.
Oh, yeah, I bet you do. For your disrespect, I'm gonna make you fight my scariest minion ever.
Suddenly, a big spider jumped out from the snow. Oh no!
Oh, sorry, it was really cold hiding in there. My name is Spider.
Hi, Spider. I'm Zozo. What the heck kind of name is Spider?
I'm like Spider-Man, but I'm all spider, so I'm twice as strong. Sorry, do you have any hot cocoa?
No, I don't. Sorry, I just have a frozen sword.
Oh, neat. If I beat you in this fight, can I have it?
Fat chance, I'm gonna kick your butt. From day 50 to day 53, I had to battle against Spider.
Even when I have the sniffles, I'm stronger than you, Zozo.
Spider was too fast for me. It was the hardest fight ever. But then I remembered that my frozen sword could slow him down.
Oh no! If you defeat me now, I'll lose my mystical diamonds. They're the source of all my power.
Wait, really?
No, they're actually just normal. Ah, you destroyed me. No!
And that was the end of Spider. I even got those diamonds from my trouble. From day 54 to day 57, I went back to my base because when Spider asked me if I had hot cocoa, it made me really want some hot cocoa. But on my way back to the base, I remembered that I hadn't completed my quest yet. Wait, I have to defeat the boat. Back to the frozen river. I ran all the way back to the frozen river and looked around. There it was, the meanest looking boat I'd ever seen.
Looking for a new fight? Well, whatever floats your boat. But be careful, Zozo. With this guy, it's sink or swim.
How am I supposed to fight a boat? Before I could think too much about it, the boat attacked me. Ouch! Yay! Cut it out! Okay, guess we're doing this. I fired an ice blast at the boat and knocked it back across the frozen river. It broke apart into a pile of wood. That was easy. I traveled back home and gave the Plague Doctor the good news.
Huzzah! A gentleman and a scholar you are. In return, I offer you this. From my keen medical knowledge, I have been able to discern that Randy Ravager is not what we think. It is my scientific opinion that he is not an organic being.
Oh, what's that mean?
That our greatest foe is some manner of illusion.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to follow Chocolate Thunder's lead and make some improvements to the base. I made the furnace bigger and hotter and expanded the training room. Now I should do some good old-fashioned mining. I headed down into the mine and dug until I found some diamonds. Nice! I can craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword with this. So that's exactly what I did. Then I headed back home to show off my new gear.
Cool diamond gear, Zozo. While you were gone, I made some more improvements.
You have a great work ethic, my friend.
What can I say? I'm great at building things. Bases, furniture, other stuff. Look, I made a fireplace and a new living area.
Pretty sweet. I'm so glad we're friends. I hope nothing ever gets in the way of our friendship. From day 63 to day 66, Ozzy told me I should go to the ice spikes, so I did. But as with any time I went to the ice spikes, I had to watch my steps.
Hey, make sure to watch your step, traveler.
It was a weaponsmith. Hey, I just said that. How did you know what I was saying in the narration?
I know many things, traveler. fella?
I don't like your attitude, guy. Are you looking for a fight?
I am but the humble weaponsmith. I smith weapons and I say ominous things.
Why didn't you lead with that? I might have some weapons that need smithing.
I would be more than happy to be of assistance for a price.
Okay, what's the price?
$2.
Wow, that's so reasonable. You're a cool dude, Mr. Weaponsmith. From day 67 to day 70, I hung out with the weaponsmith. He told me the story about how he got his eye patch.
I was making some lemonade and I squeezed a lemon into my eye.
Oh, okay.
Now, to business. If you can help me complete my quest, I will return your kindness by fixing all of your weapons.
Whoa, what? What quest? I thought you said I only owed you $2.
Oh, my apologies. I must have misspoke. $2 is the name of a whale monster who floats around the ice spikes and eats people. Quite bothersome. I'm losing a lot of business.
You really should have been more upfront about that, but okay. Just then, a whale went flying by. I went outside to see this big angry whale monster just floating around.
Rawr, I'm $2. Prepare to get crunched.
Hi, $2. I'm Zozo. What are you even doing here, dude? Whales can't fly.
I'm built different.
You should stop bothering the weaponsmith. What did he ever do to you?
I have nothing against him. I'm just really angry.
Why?
It's cold out here, and I can't find the ocean.
It's over there.
Wow, really? Thanks, Zozo.
Then $2 floated away to the ocean. From day 71 to day 74, I felt the weight of being responsible for defeating so many other players in this twisted game of life and death. It's times like these when I long to be in one of my less serious and more lighthearted adventures. And you can find those videos and more by searching ZOZO. That's ZOZO. Enjoy the videos.
Hey, whoa, hey! You can't promote your videos in the middle of my death game. This is my show, you little macaroni loser! So keep on watching to find out which of these remaining players defeats your beloved Zozo.
Hey man, I'm just trying to make it entertaining for the people out there.
And you're doing a terrible job. Seriously? A macaroni penguin? What's next? A ravioli pufferfish? Go home and think about your life.
From day 75 to day 78, I reflected on the fact that Randy Ravager didn't like my videos that much. But you guys believe in me, right? Leave a comment saying how much you like my videos. That would make me feel a lot better. I decided to stop sulking and go see the plague doctor, because if anything could mend a broken heart, it was an expert in fixing stuff. Hey, Doc, what you up to?
I just completed a doctorate in building watchtowers. Here's my thesis.
She gestured to a brand new watchtower in front of the base. Very nice. Seems scientific. I'm gonna go check it out.
May it cure your malaise, Zozo.
From the watchtower, I saw Chocolate Thunder approach. He was carrying an ingot of dragon steel, a metal so rare that no one had ever heard of it until now. This is for you, Zozo. If you combine it with your frozen sword and mystical diamonds, you'll be able to create a perfect, unique weapon for your special abilities. I did a bit of crafting, and sure enough, Chocolate Thunder was right. I had forged an ice dragon steel sword. Just by wielding it, my power increased immeasurably. But to measure it, my hearts were now 100, and I gained a cool laser ability. Thanks, Choco T. You'll be able to eliminate all the rest of the players with this power-up. I expect big things from you, my friend. From day 79 to day 84, I returned to the ice spikes to take a look around and see if Randy was still there. Phew, I guess he's not here right now. I still want to test out my new strength. Come on, somebody fight me. A colossal squid took the challenge, and after a quick fight, I defeated it. Woohoo! A black-footed ferret heard all the commotion and trundled into the scene.
Hey, kiddo, I like the cut of your squid, aka I liked how you cut that squid. There, you should get a gift for being so great at fighting.
Then he gave me a diamond helmet. Oh, hey, thanks, stranger.
Don't mention it. Seriously, don't mention it. I don't want Randy knowing I helped you out. Gotta go.
And the ferret ran away, leaving me with my sick new helmet. I swapped out my transceiver helmet for this cool new one. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base and was shocked by what I saw. A pillager was attacking my base and smashing it all up. Oh, no you don't.
You swapped out your helmet, denying the orders of Randy Ravager. Now you must be destroyed.
Really wish you wouldn't do that, but I can't give up my new helmet. It's so cool. Now get out of here. I chased the pillager away, and as I was running, I crossed paths with a leap leaf.
Hey, bud, got a second?
I'm kinda in the middle of something.
Just a quick thing. I'm trying to finish this math homework. What's 6 times 12?
Oh, that's easy. It's 72.
Thank you very much. Okay, can keep chasing that guy now.
Cool. Bye forever. From day 90 to day 94, the pillager is still on the run because I guess it was my turn to terrorize them. I chased him all the way to a part of the ice spikes that I had never seen before, ever. What is this place?
Oh no! The Macaroni Penguin, who the events of this death game have revolved around, has nearly found our control booth. If he makes it there, who knows what could happen?
How about we find out, you pillager jokers? I was about to say and do more cool things when a barbarian showed up. From a glance, I could tell he was the strongest and most dangerous player I had ever encountered. Yeah, ever!
Me, Barbarian, Ultimate Champion. We're that game fight now, never defeated.
That changes today, you big palooka! Nothing will get in the way of me stopping these games by fighting in them. The barbarian I fought, and even though I had gained all the abilities and weapons from my battles, the barbarian also had powerful abilities and weapons nearly equal to mine. This fight would rage on for days. From day 95 to day 97, the fight raged on. But then I remembered that I was cooler than he was because I was fighting against the game instead of trying to win it. I'm the main character. I am the one who wins.
Barbarian, no think that fair.
Newt, eat laser! I lasered him, and then I used my dragon steel sword to freeze him into a statue of defeat. Now that I've taken care of the final opposing player, I can put an end to this game. Or at least, I think he was the final one. I'm not going to check.
Barbarian, last words. Me kill Hammerhead Shark, but not just cause. Order to. My true mastermind.
Oh, that's right! The true mastermind. I guess I better look into that.
True mastermind is person Zozo least expect.
Yeah, that didn't help, Barbarian.
Barbarian, merely pawn in game of life. Barbarian die now.
And he did. I decided to return home to my base one last time so that the plague doctor could treat my many injuries. On day 98, I steeled myself and prepared to go to the control room in the ice spikes. It's time to smash the boulder, just like the hammerhead shark told me before. I need to end this cycle of endless death games, or it'll just keep going and claim more victims. I need to find the true mastermind and defeat them. The plague doctor approached to offer words of encouragement.
Pip pip cheerio, Zozo. I believe you can do this, and if not, I'll keep your memory alive.
Thanks, plague doctor. After that, Ozzy the Ocelot didn't show up. Oh no, he must have been eliminated during the previous attack. That's devastating. Chocolate Thunder isn't here either. I need to get to the control room before I lose any more friends. On day 99, I arrived outside the control room. It was the only way I could potentially end this twisted game without having to fight my friends. Oh, but of course, it wouldn't be that easy. The control room was guarded by more pillagers on each floor, all of them ready to defend their master. How am I ever gonna get past them into the base? It's day 99. If it gets to the end of day 100, we're all doomed. But then I remembered what the weaponsmith told me.
Zozo, remember your starting ability. Warp a short distance and use that to teleport past the guards and into the control room.
Wow, I don't think he actually told me that, but that's super useful. I ran in and warped past the guards, then snuck to the top floor. On day 100, I eliminated the rest of the pillagers on the top floor, then burst into the control room, ready to take on the mastermind behind the whole thing. It's over, Randy. I'm here to defeat you.
Ooh, are you now? What if I said I had one more little surprise up my sleeve? Bet you'd be shocked, shook, shaken to your core.
What are you talking about? All of a sudden, Randy the Ravager went still and stopped talking. Smoke filled the room, and chocolate thunder appeared. Huh? What's going on?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Ugh, you're not as smart as I thought you were. I was living in your house and building your furniture, and you never even had a clue?
What? You're the mastermind? Why would you do all of that?
Come on, Zozo. Motives are incidental. I did what I had to do to make this game more fun. This is the grand finale, baby.
No, I don't want to fight you.
Well, too bad. So sad. You have to give the viewers what they want.
What viewers?
The people you're always whining at to subscribe. Now come on, let's battle.
He rushed at me and attacked, and I didn't want to fight my friend, but I had no other choice. He wasn't the person I thought he was. He was bad, actually. I used my laser blast and blasted him to heck. The fight was over as fast as it began.
Wow, you really did it. You beat me. I'd shake your hand, but I don't really feel like it. Bye, Zozo.
And just like that, Chocolate Thunder, Randy the Ravager, was gone. Pretty sad, but I'll process that later. For now, let's celebrate. I did it. Now I can go home. On day 1, I spawned in as an ice spider, an arachnid as cold as the Arctic reaches. All 8 of my legs are here, but why am I so little? I'm only a baby spider. That's when I realized that I was trapped inside of a magic circle. An evil-looking necromancer stood on the outside, casting a terrible spell.
A spider of ice, it will suffice. So says me, Necromancer Bryce.
Light swirled all around me, and the entire world shook. But when it stopped, I felt like I was able to move. Great! I better get out of here while I can. I tried to scurry away, but Bryce the Necromancer blocked my path.
Not so fast there, Ice Spider. Your part to play is done, so now I'll destroy you and complete the spell.
Hey, I have a name, you know. It's Zozo, and I don't like it when people say they're going to destroy me.
Oh, it's nothing personal. That magic spell I just cast is going to destroy the entire world 100 days from now.
What? The entire world? You do realize that doesn't make it better, right?
But it does make it destroyed. The ritual also says that I should sacrifice the ice spider used in the spell for best results.
Well, it's not going to be this ice spider. I'm leaving, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna find a way to counteract your spell. I bolted for it as fast as my 8 legs could carry. Instead of chasing after me, the necromancer Bryce just laughed wickedly to himself.
Easier said than done, my arachnid friend. The world's destruction is close at hand.
On day 2, I managed to get far enough away from the necromancer Bryce that I could take it easy. I looked around in wonder at the glowing ancient forest around me. I also noticed that I had 10 hearts and that my hunger gauge was lowering fast. It looks like running for my life from a destruction-happy evil necromancer really works up an appetite. I searched around until I found a tree that had apples in it for me to take. Then I ate the apples until my hunger meter was full again. Surviving all alone in this world as a baby spider isn't so bad. I'm really getting the hang of it. I wasn't alone for long though, as I saw a couple of skeleton vanguards appear out from between the trees.
There you are, Ice Spider. We shall get rid of you for our master, the Necromancer Bryce.
He must really want to sacrifice me if he's sending skeletons to do his bidding. I tried to fend off the skeleton vanguards, but my spider bites didn't have much of an effect on creatures made of bone.
Give up, Spider. The world is doomed, and your sacrifice will seal its fate.
The mobs kept attacking, bringing me down to my last few hearts. I thought I was doomed. But then, an energy blast distracted the skeleton vanguards and made them run away. Out of nowhere, an illusioner appeared. I realized immediately that they must have been the one who cast the spell.
Follow me, little ice spider. I'll take you to my camp. We'll be safer there.
You saved my life, so I guess I can trust you. On day 3, the illusioner took me to his campsite and cast a protective illusion barrier around both of us so that the mobs wouldn't find us. You're pretty good at casting spells, illusioner.
Please, call me Alan. Illusioner Alan.
Okay, Alan, you're pretty good at casting spells.
Thank you for saying that, but unfortunately, there are mages far more powerful than me in the world, and some of them are using their gifts for evil.
You mean like Necromancer Bryce? Is it true that his spell will end the world?
Not if we good mages have anything to say about it.
Soon after, another mage arrived at the campfire. This one was a wind caller with the power to, well, call wind.
I'm Wind Caller Windy. I'm here to see the ice spider.
That's me. I'm Ice Spider Zozo.
Oh, the winds are truly blowing in our favor. You, my amicable arachnid, may be the key to saving the entire world from destruction. Necromancer Bryce's ritual can be stopped by a more powerful spell as long as he doesn't sacrifice an ice spider.
So as long as I'm alive, there's a chance that you mages will be able to stop him.
We'll need your help too. We can battle his henchmen and travel to places which would be too dangerous for us.
You can count on me. I might still be a baby spider, but I won't let the entire world down. From day 4 to day 5, I began to make use of the trees around me to gather wood for a wooden pickaxe. Because my starting area was a forest, it didn't take long to have enough to craft the tool. But wood wouldn't be good for long if I could do better. I mined into the ground with my wooden pickaxe for some stone and quickly upgraded to a stone pickaxe. With the new and improved stone tool, I was able to gather even more stone to use for building and crafting. First, I made a stone sword to defend myself with. Next, I started building a strong shelter where I could stay safe from Necromancer Bryce and his undead minions. Illusioner Alan had chosen to come with me. His illusion spells would help keep me safe while I built the base. Thanks for all your help so far, Alan.
Remember, Zozo, do not rely on magic. It cannot keep every mob away.
I soon understood what he meant when a skeleton appeared and interrupted my building. Good thing I crafted that stone sword. I drew my weapon and brought down the skeleton with a cup of wax. My victory against the skeleton made me stronger and more experienced, and because of that, I grew out of my baby mode into a regular-sized ice spider with 30 hearts. I can shoot ice blasts now. That is more like it. From day 6 to day 8, I was out exploring in the nearby gravelly mountains when I saw a friendly gorilla being attacked by a slime ball.
Get away from me, you slime ball!
The slime ball didn't answer. It just bounced and got slime everywhere. You may be slimy, but this ice spider isn't so helpless anymore. I hit the slime ball with my stone sword over and over. It did a good amount of damage, but I was taking damage the longer I stayed in contact with the slime ball. I retreated back to a safe distance and shot the slime ball with an ice blast. It froze the mob solid, so I was able to get in a few more hits with my stone sword while it was immobilized. I repeated this 2 or 3 times with more ice blasts until the slime ball was defeated. Once the battle was over, the gorilla cheered and ran up to greet me.
Brr, I was cold just watching that, but I'm glad you're on my side.
Of course. I, Ice Spider Zozo, am all about saving others.
You're definitely the nicest ice mob I've met. Say, do you think you could talk to the other one I know and tell him to stop trying to freeze me?
Sure thing. I'll let him know that's not nice.
He's just over here in another part of the mountains.
From day 9 to day 10, the gorilla showed me to the lair of the Icy Creeper, a powerful ice mob that seemed to like to cause trouble. Gorilla seemed worried for me. That's how I knew Icy Creeper would be trouble.
Are you sure you could talk him out of being mean, Zozo?
I can certainly try. I left Gorilla behind and approached the Icy Creeper. His attention was on me immediately, but he didn't speak. It looked like I would need to talk first. Hey, I'm Ice Spider Zozo. I heard you've been trying to freeze the gorilla and they'd like you to stop.
Well, that's very nice, but I'm not gonna. I'll freeze anyone I want.
That's so rude. What did the gorilla ever do to you?
Nothing, but this is a cold world, and I'm one cold, tough customer. If that gorilla doesn't like it, he can go to another mountain.
Don't make me fight you, Icy Creeper.
I'd like to see you try.
I fired my ice blast at the Icy Creeper, but it seemed like he was even colder than me because it barely did any damage. His own ice blast took off a bunch of my hearts. In a battle between ice creatures, I was definitely the loser for now. I ran back to the gorilla, sad that I couldn't defeat the Icy Creeper. I promised Gorilla that I'd let him stay in my base for now and come back to the gravelly mountains to defeat Icy Creeper at a later time. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base and began renovating the living space so that the gorilla had a place to live. I used a lot of stone bricks so it wouldn't be too different from the mountain he had left behind. Once I had built the room, I went to see the gorilla and showed him where he could stay.
Thanks for letting me stay here, Zozo. I thought you could use some more storage space, so I did a bit of building on my own.
It turned out that the gorilla really had built a room that was perfect for storing extra items. He also built a furnace that would heat up the room where he and the mages would be staying. Oh yeah, I guess you guys need to stay warm. Either way, that's very impressive work.
I call it the home away from home. Oh, I hope I get to see the mountains again before the world ends.
It's not going to end. I'll stop it.
I hope so. That necromancer Bryce has been plotting world destruction for a long time, actually. He's tried all sorts of spells to do it, and they've never worked. This one might, though, and the idea of that is really scary.
It did sound scary, and I wasted no time getting better materials to help defend myself in case Bryce showed up. Down in the mining area of the base, I went digging for some iron to upgrade my tools. I found some iron ore, which I smelted into iron ingots, then crafted into an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Back on the surface, I tamed some sheep from the nearby glowing ancient forest and built a farm for them. If that furnace fails, there's always wool sweaters. From day 13 to day 15, I sought out Illusioner Alan for some more advice on how to complete Necromancer Bryce's challenge. I want to save the world as soon as I can, Alan. Is the spell ready yet?
If only magic were that simple, Zozo. The truth is that Bryce's destruction spell is linked to you now. The only way to weaken it is for you to become stronger.
How do I do that?
When you defeated Bryce's skeleton henchman before, some of the spell's magic transferred into you. If you could defeat a more powerful one, it could happen again.
I went back to the Gravelly Mountains in the hopes of finding another undead mob to fight. Come and get me! I don't fear you, skeletons! As if answering my call to battle, a skeleton vanguard came charging across the mountain terrain towards me.
Spider of Ice! Spider of Ice! The time has come for sacrifice!
I hit the advancing skeleton vanguard with an ice blast, which slowed the undead down. I was able to hit him with another before he got into melee range. Time to get a taste of my new weapon. At that point, I brought out my iron sword and slashed the skeleton vanguard with some powerful hits. The skeleton vanguard crumbled and dropped a health potion to boot. This potion must contain some more of Bryce's magic. I drank the potion and felt my power increase dramatically. My number of hearts doubled and became 60. And I gained the magical ability to turn invisible like see-through ice. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my exploration into a brand new part of the world that I'd never seen before, the Great Lake Isles. As I crawled around this breathtaking new biome, I came across an abandoned book that contained information about the destruction spell that Necromancer Bryce had cast. A spell of destruction cast by a Necromancer must be confirmed with the sacrifice of an ice spider. For this reason, an ice spider that survives the casting of the spell can prevent the destruction of the world by being at the center of a spell of life, which is made to protect the world. I wasn't sure exactly what that meant, but it sounded like there was a way to turn the tide of destruction. I excitedly began to leave the Great Lake Isles when some more skeleton vanguards ambushed me to try and get me to be sacrificed.
Spider of Ice! Spider of Ice! The time has come for
Yeah, sacrifice. You creeps must have followed me from the mountains. I used my iron sword and I pelted the mobs with ice blasts until they were all destroyed. From day 20 to day 22, I realized that my powers were far stronger now that I had grown into a bigger ice spider. I tested my mettle against some specters in the glowing ancient forest, chopping them down with my iron sword. They weren't that difficult to defeat, but the fact that they were here meant that bad omens were on the horizon. Dead becoming more common could be a sign of world destruction being on its way. I did some more mining for iron in the base cavern and grabbed enough ore to make the ingots for an iron chestplate. Now that I'm this much stronger, I bet I could stand up to the Icy Creeper. I returned to the Icy Creeper's lair in the Gravelly Mountains to confront the mob with my new abilities and gear.
Have you learned how cold the world is yet, Zozo?
No, I have learned that the world has good people in it that don't deserve to be frozen or destroyed. I fired my icy blast at the Icy Creeper, and this time, I was the one dealing damage. I had become a colder, more powerful being. Never freeze the gorilla or anyone else ever again.
All right, Zozo, I give. I'll be nice.
The Icy Creeper ran away, never to be mean again and never to be seen again. Upon driving away from that other ice mob, I saw a flashback to Bryce as a younger necromancer, just learning his first spells.
The world is a cold and cruel place. I know. I'll destroy it so nobody has to live in a cold, cruel world.
Guess he was similar to the Icy Creeper in a couple of ways. If only he knew that the world wasn't as cold and cruel as he thought it was. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base, feeling victorious. I made a beeline for the gorilla to give him the good news.
I taught that icy creeper a lesson he won't forget anytime soon. I promise you that you won't be having any trouble with him now.
Wow, you are one heroic ice spider, Zozo. I'm really checking my prejudices right now. Also, I made you a gift. In case you didn't notice it on the way in, I made a perimeter wall to defend the base.
Somehow, I totally had missed the perimeter wall. It was awesome and would do a great job at repelling the roving hordes of the undead. The base is well defended. Maybe now it's time to make sure my body is better defended. I went back to the mining cavern and collected up some more iron ore that I then took back to my base and smelted into iron ingots. I used these to make the rest of my armor set. You may not be able to see the armor on me, but believe me, it's there. From day 27 to day 31, I returned to the Great Lake Isles, wanting to make sure that I'd wiped out the Skeleton Vanguard Scourge completely. The more territory I can take back from the Necromancer Bryce, the less power and resources he has to complete his dark ritual. And it seems like my earlier work had paid off, because I couldn't see a Skeleton Vanguard anywhere. Instead, what I found was a large and smart-looking golem.
Hello there, good sir. Say, I've heard quite a bit about a certain ice spider lately. Your name wouldn't happen to be Zozo, would it?
That depends. What would you do if I was Zozo?
I'd congratulate you. I'm the librarian Golem. I travel across the overworld, giving books to those who need them. And the skeleton vanguards working for that blasted necromancer had gotten in the way of my very important mission for far too long. If you are Zozo, then you are responsible for many needy people getting the books they so crave.
Well, in that case, I am Zozo. Why don't you come back to my base with me? You seem like you'd be a valuable ally.
Of course, as long as there's a place where I can read.
I returned to my base with the librarian Golem and constructed a new room for him to sleep in. After completing it, I realized how dull and drab the base looked. It needed a personal touch. I harvested some wool from my sheep farm and turned them into a bunch of cool banners that I hung up around the different buildings of my base. Looking snazzy! But my joy was short-lived as Illusioner Alan ran in with frantic news. Zozo, you need to come with me immediately. Windcaller Wendy is under attack. From day 32 to day 35, Illusioner Alan and I ran as fast as we could to reach the campfire in the glowing ancient forest where the Windcaller liked to hang out. But by the time we arrived, it was already too late. A vicious gang of skeleton vanguards had already outnumbered and destroyed him. No!
We serve our master well. Everyone who attempts to defend you will be destroyed, Zozo. Nobody will stand in the way of your sacrifice. We will destroy this entire world.
Not if I have anything to say about it! Powered by pure rage, I went in there with all my weapons and powers and wiped out every single one of the skeleton vanguards. In the end, all that was left was myself and Illusioner Alan.
This is bad, Zozo. The Windcaller was a powerful mage and an asset to our operation. Now that she is gone, the danger grows significantly.
But we can't give up, Alan. If we give up, then nobody will stop Necromancer Bryce. We need to fight back against him with everything we have. From day 36 to day 39, I went out to the Gravelly Mountains to wander around and collect my thoughts. I was afraid about everything that had happened, but I couldn't show it in front of everyone who was working for me. Necromancer Bryce and his men are way more dangerous than I thought. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into an incredibly strange creature, a melon golem, which I didn't even know was a thing.
What? You never see a melon golem before? You don't like melons or something?
No, I love melons. I've just never seen a melon golem before. I'm sorry if I've upset you. If you have a favor you need doing, I'd be happy to see to it and give you a hand.
Well, now that you mention it, there was an obsidian golem who was giving me some real trouble. Would you mind taking care of him before he hurts me or anyone else?
Of course, I'll get right to it. I turned on my invisibility powers and used it to search through the Gravelly Mountains until I discovered the obsidian golem. I used the element of surprise and approached him from behind, attacking him with everything I had. In the end, I managed to defeat him after a tough battle. Then I returned to the melon golem and told him that his bully was gone.
Hey, that's great news! I used to be able to trust the other golems, but a lot of them defected to the Necromancer Bryce, because most of them are hardy enough to survive the cold.
So some golems are working with the Necromancer now? That's not good news.
You point out the obvious a lot, you know.
From day 40 to day 43, I returned back to my base, pleasantly surprised by some improvements that Illusioner Alan had made to the base.
Zozo, I've made very good friends with the librarian Golem. He's a wonderful chap, and we've been doing lots of discussions around the arcane arts. So I installed a sizable collection of bookshelves and couches so he can really enjoy himself here.
It's incredibly wholesome that you two have become such good friends.
And he's not the only friend I'd like to stay here. I improved the base by adding a barracks, so I could invite more of my illusioner friends. The more mages we have at the base, the easier it will be to defend you from the necromancer.
That sounds like a good idea to me, Alan. Not long after, a small group of other illusioners arrived, and I greeted them, then escorted them to their rooms. Not long after, the librarian golem approached me with a new quest.
Zozo! As you may have heard on the grapevine, or perhaps the melon vine, some golems defected from the overworld and joined up with that dastardly necromancer. Two in particular are the Endstone Golem and the Netherite Golem out in the Great Lake Isles. Perhaps, if you're able to defeat him, it will weaken the necromancer's power in another territory.
That's an awesome idea, Librarian Golem. I'll set off immediately. From day 44 to day 49, I set off into the Great Lake Isles to find one of the evil golems that had been working for Necromancer Bryce. I want to reduce the power of the Necromancer's spell in whatever way that I can. I thought I saw the glow of magic from one of the islands and made a stealthy approach. To my surprise, it wasn't an Endstone Golem at all, but Necromancer Bryce himself. He was muttering something, so I got closer to hear what it was.
This pathetic world does not deserve mercy. It only deserves cold destruction, and my spell will be that destruction. Soon, the hastening will be upon us.
Couldn't let him stand there and say such terrible things. Take that back, you dastardly necromancer!
Oh, it's you. You're the ice spider that dares to defy me. It seems my undead have thus far been unable to sacrifice you.
Why do you need to sacrifice me so badly anyway? What's in it for you if the entire world is destroyed?
Destroying the entire world is a thankless job, but somebody has to do it. Anyway, I've got a brand new caliber of minion now. Prepare to meet my netherite golem.
The Necromancer Bryce vanished into a cloud of magical smoke, and in his place, a netherite golem rose to its full towering height.
Greetings. I am the Netherite Golem, and I will be sacrificing today.
The other golems told me that baddies like you were bad news. Put up your big netherite dukes, and let's have a good clean fight, said the spider to the golem. I ice blasted my opponent and scurried around, avoiding his attacks. I used my invisibility to sneak in close and attack with my iron sword. The netherite golem was very strong, and he managed to hit me a couple times, dealing many hearts of damage. But I had hearts to spare now, and this fight was far from over. From day 50 to day 53, we briefly stopped to talk.
You're going to be sacrificed, Ice Spider. I'm going to crack you like ice and then squash you like a spider.
Oh yeah? Well, you're a netherite golem, and never mind, I can't think of anything. I fired off a couple of ice blasts, then I used my iron sword to hit the netherite golem. With one more ice blast, I froze the netherite golem and brought the fight to a close with a sword strike. The netherite golem dispersed, leaving behind some mystical diamonds, which were stronger than any material I had gathered thus far. I better hang on to these so I can make a powerful tool out of these diamonds later. With the netherite golem defeated, I felt some of Necromancer Bryce's magic leaving the Great Lake Isles. From day 54 to day 57, I found the other evil golem that had chosen to serve Necromancer Bryce, the Endstone Golem, the exact golem that the library golem had sent me out to fight. This mean Endstone fighting machine was just as tough as the netherite golem I had fought before, so I knew I had to use similar strategies to take it down. Ice Spider Zozo, Golem Slayer! My invisibility proved to be a great way of avoiding attacks, and a mixture of Ice Blast and Iron Sword attacks sealed the deal! Both of the Golem defectors have been defeated now. I can feel the Great Lake Isles are peaceful now. I returned to my base in the glowing ancient forest so that I could tell the tale of my victory to the library golem.
Well done, Ice Spider Zozo. Without his golems, Necromancer Bryce has lost a major facet of his evil forces. The destruction of the entire world is that much closer to being avoided.
I'm just doing my part to stop the spell.
In anticipation of your return, I did some research into the original spellbooks that contain the destruction spell. It says that the ice spider needed for the spell must come from the Ice Spikes biome. Have you ever been there before, Zozo?
Not that I can recall, but if it's my homeland, maybe I can learn something more about the spell by going there someday. From day 58 to day 62, I used the mystical diamonds that had been dropped by the netherite golem to make myself a diamond sword. Once crafted, the librarian gave me a Frostwalker enchantment book to enchant my new diamond sword with frost. What a neat enchantment, and very fitting for an ice spider. I guess magic comes naturally to me. We Because of my new sword, I was inspired to seek out more diamonds down in the mine. Using my iron pickaxe, I dredged up a few more diamonds and made myself a diamond pickaxe. I decided that was enough mining for now, and I came back to see that the living area looked much nicer, and there was even a brand new fireplace. Illusioner Alan was standing by the fireplace, feeling its warmth. It looks amazing here. Is this an illusion?
I'm always telling you, Zozo, magic can't do everything. These changes to the base are 100% real.
Wow, thanks, Alan.
Building this base was such a great idea. I really like living here, so I'm glad I could make it better for everyone.
From day 63 to day 66, I was doing some more diamond mining when the gorilla who lives in my base came to visit me.
Hey, Zozo, the librarian Golem told me that you're originally from the ice spikes. I actually know how to get there.
You do? Well, that's great. I have been meaning to take a trip out there at some point.
I'll give you the directions. Maybe you'll find out if you've got any family out there.
Following the gorilla's directions, I made my way to the ice spikes. I didn't see any ice spiders, but maybe I would meet a friendly face if I looked around. But the first face I saw didn't appear to be that friendly. It was a mountaineer with a wicked gleam in his eyes. I'm warning you, buddy. You don't want to mess with this ice spider. I have the home field advantage.
I don't want to fight you. This gleam in my eye is the gleam of adventure. I'm Mountaineer Monty, and I'm looking to climb the tallest peak in the ice spikes.
The tallest peak? I bet I could see everything from up there. Count me in.
Perfect! With an ice spider helping me up, I'll be able to get to the top of the tallest peak in no time.
From day 67 to day 70, I joined Mountaineer Monty, and we both climbed around on the ice spikes together, searching for the tallest peak. How will we know if the ice spike that we're climbing is the tallest or not, Monty?
We won't know until we get to the top. Keep on crawling on these walls, ice spider.
We went higher and higher until we found a ledge on the side of an even taller peak. Could this be the one? That's when a leap leaf jumped down from the upper ledges and started to attack. I fired an ice blast at the mob, but it dodged away. This leap leaf was faster than I expected, so I'd have to outsmart it. I turned invisible and waited for the leap leaf to land on the ground. I dashed in and hit it with my diamond sword, dealing a bunch of damage. The moment it jumped, I fired an ice blast directly at it, defeating it for good. Mountaineer Monty was impressed with my win.
That was great! And also leap leaves only live on the tallest peak, so we must be there.
Let's keep on climbing so we can find out. Within a few minutes, we had risen to the top of the entire Ice Spikes biome. This was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in all my days as an ice spider.
Thank you for being here with me.
Down below, I saw what looked like the lair of a necromancer, a wicked and terrible base. Necromancer Bryce must be here in the Ice Spikes. Did he find me here? From day 71 to day 74, I descended the peak of the tallest mountain and began to travel through the ice spikes in the direction of the evil lair. I never expected my history with Bryce would go back so far. I need to find out why his lair is here, what happened to the other ice spiders, and of course, how I can save the world from destruction. And if you want to help me save the world, remember to search ZOZO to find more of my adventures. Make sure to tell me what you want me to play as next. Down at the base of the mountain, I wandered through a snowy blizzard, only to be confronted by Necromancer Bryce.
You've returned home, Ice Spider Zozo, but it's not your home anymore. It's my home, and soon there will be nobody home in the entire world.
Your destruction spell will never work, Bryce. Not as long as I survive without being sacrificed. I drew my sword and turned invisible, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Necromancer Bryce only laughed. He was not threatened by me at all.
Foolish Zozo! You don't understand what it means that I am here in the Ice Spikes. It means that I've already sacrificed another ice spider. My spell is secure.
I froze in place, not from the cold, but from the shock of what Bryce had said. No, you already sacrificed an ice spider, you evil monster! Bryce turned toward the spell and blasted me with a powerful spell that took off almost all of my heart. He was about to fire off another, so I ran away as fast as I could. From day 75 to day 78, I scurried back to the base and immediately shut myself away in the coldest room of the base. I had failed. The whole point of going to the Ice Spikes was to learn more about my origin. But now, I had learned something that made me feel completely hopeless. The entire world really was going to be destroyed, and there was nothing I could do to stop it.
Never say never, Zozo.
It was the librarian Golem. They had come to visit me in my time of regret. But all of the other ice spiders are gone. Necromancer Bryce sacrificed them.
I don't think that's exactly what has happened, Zozo. Bryce was trying to catch you off guard so he could sacrifice you. He still needs you for his place, and when he comes for you, we'll be ready.
The librarian golem showed me a watchtower that had been installed on the base. It would be an ideal countermeasure to any intruding undead sent by Bryce. Thanks, library golem. And you're right, the world isn't doomed yet. Later on, I consulted Illusioner Alan to see what magical spells he had been working on during my travels.
Zozo, I have used all of my magic to create this Kaitha. It is a weapon that will make you unstoppable in battle.
Thank you. That's exactly what I need. The moment I took the Kyther, I felt a great surge of power within me. I grew into the ultimate ice spider, the true king of the ice spikes. I had 100 hearts and the ability to warp short distances, combining that ability with my invisibility to really catch enemies off guard. From day 79 to day 84, I made my way back to the ice spikes, trusting that the transformation brought on by Illusioner Alan's spell would give me the ultimate power, and that the library golem wasn't wrong about there being more to learn about my past. In my mighty ice spider form, nothing in the ice spikes could rival my strength. Some specters tried to swoop down and challenge me, but I effortlessly destroyed them with my ice blasts. I traveled some more through the cold biome of the ice spikes, eventually finding an Iceologer native to this region. Hello there, Iceologer.
Please, call me Iceologer Ike. It's quite nice to meet a spider of ice. There used to be a lot more of you protecting the ice spikes.
So I've heard. That was before the necromancer sacrificed them.
Oh, there was no sacrifice. Your ancestors fought against him bravely, down to the last spider. I kept one of their helmets too. You should have it.
Ike gave me a diamond helmet, which I proudly equipped. I guess there really was more to the story than I thought. From day 85 to day 89, my base was attacked by the skeleton vanguard. I arrived just in time to fend them off with weapons and ice blasts.
Spider of ice, the time has come for sacrifice.
Ha! That confirms it! You still need a sacrifice, and I'm the last spider standing. You'll never take me out. With the confidence I had developed in my ultimate ice spider form, I demolished the skeleton vanguard one by one, until the last of them went running back to the ice spikes.
Spider of ice, your sacrifice will now be done by Necromancer Bryce.
I'd like to see him try. I chased the skeleton vanguard to the edge of my base, where he kept running onward. It was there that I met a fungus thrower, who was standing next to a dugout pool of water.
Oh please, Ice Spider Zozo! My swimming pool is way too warm! Can you provide an ice blast to cool it off?
Why certainly, my fungus-throwing friend. I shot the pool with an ice blast, freezing it over. Oops, sorry, now it's more of an ice rink.
No, I like this better. I'll call my friends and we'll play some hockey.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed the skeleton vanguard through the ice spikes all the way to the necropolis where Necromancer Bryce would be waiting for me.
Bryce, we need your advice.
As the skeleton vanguard approached the necropolis, it was obliterated by an attack from an armored pillager.
Never send a skeleton to do my job.
And what is your job?
Killing spiders by the dozen. Me and the rest of my pillager crew fought the ice spiders in this area back when they dared to defy Necromancer Bryce.
You mean that it was you who wiped out all the rest of the ice spiders, and you're working for Bryce? I'm going to freeze on you! I fired several ice blasts, but the armored pillager tanked them all and hit me with the same powerful attack they'd used to destroy the skeleton vanguard. It dealt a decent amount of damage, so I warped away to avoid taking more.
I faced many ice spiders just as big as you.
But you've never faced me! Gathering my courage, I warped back and swung my diamond sword into the armored pillager, returning the damage I took and then some. From day 95 to day 97, the armored pillager still wouldn't let up, and I was starting to see that his claims of taking down all the other ice spiders wasn't all talk. My ice blasts weren't very effective, so I mostly relied on my sword strikes to deal damage. My warp and invisibility powers helped me dodge most of the armored pillager's attacks so that I could hold onto my hearts.
Why can't you let me crush you like those other worthless ice spiders?
It's time you learned that those lives you trampled were never worthless. I warped all around the armored pillager and barraged him with sword attacks until he collapsed at long last.
Darn it, you have beaten me. Truth is, you spiders fought very well. I was the only survivor among the pillagers.
If you lost everyone too, why are you being such a mean guy about it? We could have talked this out.
Necromancer Bryce was going to destroy the world anyway. We thought we had to listen to him, or he'd destroy us first. That Bryce is ruthless beyond anything you've seen. After he hired us pillagers to wipe out the spiders, he had them save one remaining ice spider egg, so that he could use the ice spider that hatched for his destruction spell. That ice spider must have been you.
The armored pillager died, leaving behind a key to the lair. At that moment, I realized I had avenged my people. Well, almost. Bryce stole me away, planned to use me for his spell, and destroy the world I've only now come to know. I will stop him! On day 98, I returned to the base to heal my injuries from the battle with the armored pillager. So much had happened since I started my journey, and we were only a couple days from the day that the destruction spell would end the world. But the words that carried me all this way still rang in my ears. As long as I survive, it isn't over. I spoke to the librarian Golem, who was also hopeful about our chances of stopping the destruction spell.
No sacrifice was made, and if you defeat Bryce, he'll never be able to cast another destruction spell. This could be your chance to save the entire world.
I will do it, for the world and for all the ice spiders that fought bravely against him. I wanted to make sure the powers of my magically induced final form were stable, so I went to Illusioner Alan to confirm. Your magical Kyther seems to be working, Alan.
Oh, Zozo, what have I always said? Magic can't do everything. You took that form on your own. My great illusion was convincing you that my weapon was the reason.
Wow, I didn't expect that. You truly are a skilled illusioner, Alan. But I didn't leave the base without any new gear. The gorilla made sure I had full diamond armor for the battle with Necromancer Bryce.
You're a hero, Ice Spider Zozo. I really wish I could have met more ice spiders.
As long as there's a world, there's a way. I'll make sure the world is safe after I stop Bryce.
Go get that evil creep. Remember the path I showed you through the Gravelly Mountains.
On day 99, I was traveling through the Gravelly Mountains toward the ice spikes on my way to the showdown with Necromancer Bryce. I was intercepted by a whole bunch of skeleton vanguards who seemed really eager to sacrifice me as always. Bryce really rolled out the welcome mat early, huh?
Spider of ice, spider of ice, must we say it thrice? It has to be time for your sacrifice.
Even though my strength, my hearts, my gear, and my magic all surpassed theirs, the skeleton vanguards descended on me in great numbers. They're slowing me down. I won't be able to reach Bryce by the day of destruction. I had to retreat as quickly as I could. That's when I ran into the Mountaineer, and he wanted to fight those nasty skeletons for me so I could take down the big boss who started it all.
Go on now, Ice Spider. We climbed the tallest peak together. Now face your greatest challenge with pride.
On day 100, I used the key to the lair and entered the inner sanctum of Necromancer Bryce.
The day of destruction is at hand, and here you are, allowing yourself to be sacrificed.
There will be no sacrifice and no destruction. We traded a series of blasts, his Necromancy Blast and my Ice Blast. We each took a bit of damage, then I turned invisible. You crushed my people, but I'm taking back the Ice Spikes and the entire world from your evil.
You would fight to protect a world that took away your family?
The world didn't do that, Necromancer Bryce. That was you! I reappeared and attacked his blind spot with my diamond sword. He began charging up his most powerful spell yet. It was the same spell he almost defeated me with the last time we fought. Necromancer Bryce let the spell of doom fly at me. I waited until the very last second, then I used my warp ability to move out of the way and appear right behind him. You missed me, and now it's over for you. I swung my diamond sword repeatedly with all my might, destroying the Necromancer before he could destroy anything else. This world would live on, and so would I. On day 1, I spawned in the Sika Woods as an Ice Spider-Man! This is awesome! I didn't think the world's greatest web slinger could get any cooler, but hey, here I am! Things weren't all peachy though. For starters, I only had 10 hearts, and for seconds, a giant buff pigless came barging through the trees towards me.
Spider-Man, I found you!
Wait, what? I don't understand.
Don't play dumb with me, Spider-Man. I'm Pigless Polly, the biggest, meanest, smartest, and also most beautiful pigless in all the land. And you've been trying to mess with my plans for years. Don't think that turning your suit blue would confuse me. I'm a genius.
But I'm just Zozo playing Spider-Man. There's been some kind of mistake.
You will confound me not, puny spider. You better run, or my bubble brawler boys will beat you into a spidery pulp.
I could tell when I wasn't wanted, and this was one of those times. I turned and ran as quickly as I could. What did she mean about her bubble brawler boys? But life soon answered my question. A gang of bubble monsters emerged from the trees and started chasing me. Oh, there they are! Using my enhanced spider speed, I was able to escape and find a hiding place for the night. Always great to spawn into a world where someone already has a grudge against me. I need to figure this out before it's too late. On day 2, when I got the sense that the coast was cleared, I spider climbed out of my hiding spot and started to explore the woods a little more casually. This place is actually pretty beautiful. Maybe I should work on building a home around here. That's when one of the bubble monsters jumped out in front of me.
Oh, I'll build you a home, Spidey. 6 feet under. You've got a lot of nerve showing your face around here. Lady Polly wants us to destroy you on sight.
I still don't know what I did to upset your beast of a boss, but if you think this icy superhero won't be fighting back, you've just made your last mistake. We battled hand to hand. What the bubble monster didn't know was I had super spider strength, so my hits really packed a punch. After a few well-aimed strikes, I burst his bubble and moved on. Wow, beating that guy up really worked up an appetite. I need to find myself some nosh. Lucky for me, there were plenty of trees around. I collected the yummy pears from the leaves. Tasty! I knocked down the rest of the pear tree with my spider fists. With the spare wood, I made myself a wooden pickaxe. Then, I dug into the ground and collected enough stone to assemble a stone pickaxe, stone axe, and a stone sword. I've got that caveman swag now. With my new stone axe, I gathered more wood and built myself a little spider base with a room for me to spend the night indoors. Nice and cozy. Things are gonna get better and better. On day 3, I left my base and went out to explore the Jacaranda forest. It was a gorgeous sight to see. Even if there aren't any useful resources around here, it's worth it for the view. But just because the view was breathtaking didn't mean that everyone who lived there was chill. Case in point, a big angry mutated bee ran over to me.
What do you think you're doing here?
I'm walking here?
Are you making fun of me?
No, I don't even know who you are.
The name's Benson, Barry B. Benson, and I was just a normal bee until my human wife left me and I got turned into the superpowered mutant abomination.
I don't see how that's my problem.
Well, I gotta take it out on somebody, don't I?
Barry B. Benson attacked me with furious intensity, and even with my spider strength, I couldn't defeat his divorced mutant rage. Instead, I ran away as he fumed loudly in the background. He sounded like he should chill out or maybe get into jazz. On my way out of the Jacaranda forest, I ran into a sad-looking spider. Seeing as I myself was also a spider, I decided to go over and ask her if she was okay. Hey, I'm Zozo. Who are you? Is everything okay?
I'm Spider Queen, and sadly, things aren't okay.
Oh wow, Spider Queen? Does that mean you're the queen of all spiders?
No, I'm actually a One Spider tribute act to the band Queen. They're my favorite. But Pigless hates Queen, and she won't let me perform anymore.
That's horrible. Why not come back to my base? You can work on your act there.
That's amazing, Zozo. I want it all.
From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my little base in the Sika Woods with Spider Queen at my side. It's not much, but it's home.
It looks amazing to me, Zozo. Musicians don't make much money, and I'm super impressed by this. Do you want me to sleep on the floor?
What? No way! I'm gonna build you your own room. So that's exactly what I did. I gathered up enough wood to make Spider Queen her own special room where she could jam out all she liked.
Oh, Zozo, you're the best. I couldn't be happier.
Take a second to hide in there. I think I can hear another bubble monster coming towards us. Spider Queen hid away inside the room I'd made for her as I went out to battle the bubble monster.
Pigless sends her regards. We're gonna destroy you for her, one way or another, or she's gonna do it herself.
She's gonna need to destroy me herself, because there's no way you're up to the task, Bubble Boy. With my new stone sword, the bubble monster didn't stand a chance. He was soon defeated, and I returned to Spider Queen. It's okay, the bubble monster is gone now. You're safe.
We are the champions! Yay! Thank you for saving us, Zozo. Here, have one of my guitars. It plays music while you fight with it.
Spider Queen gave me the guitar, and I immediately equipped it. Whoa, this is cool as heck.
Oh yeah, we will rock you.
On day 6, I started the day with the wholesome act of sheep gathering, just in case I need the wool for a new Spidey suit. I wandered into the woods and, after a long time, emerged from them, seeing a road. Whoa, where am I? I followed the road and soon found myself in a cul-de-sac with some really cool and colorful houses nearby. Is that a flying orange? At the base of the flying orange, I saw some sheep wandering around, just what I was looking for. I started to round up the sheep when an orange boy came bounding out of the orange at me.
Get away from my sheep, you costume creep!
Whoa, hang on a second. I didn't want to hurt him, but he wouldn't listen to me.
Richie, what are you doing? Leave that guy alone.
Yeah, Richie, he didn't know those were your sheep.
Richie stopped chasing me as 3 more characters, one of which looked like a bear, came running over to me.
Max, do you know who this guy is? He looks like he might be dangerous.
Relax, Beast. I'm sure he's fine. Whoa, that suit is awesome. Did you invent that? I'm something of a scientist myself.
You guys are being so rude. What's your name? I'm Sky. This is Beast, Max, and Richie.
I'm Zozo, and yeah, this is my Spidey suit. One of the icy variety anyway. What are you guys doing out here? But before they could answer, I saw the last person I wanted to see. It was Pigless. She had found me, and she was wielding a huge, terrifying mace.
Like my new hardware, Spider-Man? This mace is one of the most powerful weapons out there. Perfect for squishing a nasty little bug like you.
Whoa, who is the little piggy?
Max, don't provoke her. Can't you see what she's holding?
Hey, who do you think you are talking to our new friend like that?
Oh, glad to know there's no hard feelings about the sheep. This is Pigless Polly. She kinda wants to destroy me.
Enough jibber-jabber. I'll squash all of you then.
Yeah, we'd like to see you try.
We're not scared of you.
Max threw down a mysterious item on the ground, and a bunch of armor appeared out of it. His friends suddenly put on armor that matched their colors, along with some matching swords.
Fine. No need to ruin a perfectly good neighborhood. But mark my words, Spidey. I'll find you again, and I'll be stronger than ever.
Pigless Polly turned and ran, leaving me alone with Max and his friends. Whoa, guys, thanks for the help. I could use you guys back at my base.
That sounds really fun, but I don't think we can make it. To answer your question from before about what we're doing here, I'm a YouTuber, and I document all the crazy adventures my friends and I go on.
Yeah, if you've got some days to spare, you should hang out with us.
You know, I could actually use a couple days to lay low after that encounter. Let's do it! From day 7 to day 8, well, actually, you'll just have to click the link in the description to watch what I did on days 7 and 8 with Max and his friends. Our adventure is just in English though, but it was super fun. And if you watch, be sure to leave a comment on his video to let him know I sent you. From day 9 to day 10, I was on my way back to my base with some sheep as a gift from Richie. When I arrived, Spider Queen came running over to talk to me.
I've been building, Zozo. Come, check it out.
She'd been building a lot, in fact. One of the first things I'd seen was the statue she'd been working on to inspire me. I couldn't tell what it was yet, but I was very excited to find out. Do you have any ideas? Let me know down in the comments. And the statue wasn't all. She'd also been working on some new buildings and upgrades for the base itself, including a storage room for all of our gear, a training room for practicing our skills, and a furnace for smelting ore into ingots. I'm so glad to have you here, Spider Queen.
And I'm grateful to have you here as a friend. You're the best friend I've ever had, Zozo.
Last thing I did for the day was set up a basic sheep pen and went to bed. From day 11 to day 12, Spider Queen and I relaxed while she practiced her music. I've been wondering, why do you think Pigless Polly believes I'm her Spider-Man? How can there even be more than one Spider-Man?
I've got a theory about that, actually. I think when you spawned, it created a dimensional rift that sent this universe's Spider-Man into your native dimension while bringing you here, like a big cross-dimensional swap.
Whoa, that's wild! How can you know all this when you're just a one-spider tribute pan? No offense, of course.
I actually have a degree in trans-dimensional physics. It's more of a hobby thing, really. Being a Queen Tribute Act is my real ambition.
From day 13 to day 15, I returned to the beautiful Jacaranda Forest with a plan in mind. Defeat that dastardly Barry B. Benson, the mutated bee. He's gotta be around here somewhere. I mean, he's so aggro, I imagine he'll come looking for me. And I was right. After a little more searching, Barry the mutated bee ran in and prepared to attack me.
There you are! You've been due for a good thrashing, Zozo! I still haven't forgiven you for your trespasses against me earlier!
I still don't fully understand what I did, but if we've got to fight, let's just get it over with and fight!
Finally, you're making some sense!
And so, our battle began. I battered him with my guitar until he submitted, but I decided against finishing him off because honestly, I felt sorry for him. Go talk to your ex-wife, Barry. You clearly have some pent-up anger issues, and you're not gonna solve them by beating up random strangers.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry for all the trouble, Zozo.
And with that, he left. But my act of kindness and mercy gave me some XP to level up, getting 30 hearts, getting bigger and stronger, and getting a web shooter, which I could use to shoot webs. About time. I wonder. Whoa! I can also ride the webs as they fly through the air. Awesome! At long last, some real Spider-Man powers. This is great! From day 16 to day 19, I decided that I couldn't battle every baddie with just a guitar, so I went down into the nearest mining cavern to find some iron ore. Spider-Man wants his hands on some iron, man. And my catchy theme song worked, because I did manage to find a vein of iron ore and immediately started mining it. This seems like about enough to make the tools I want. Time to head back to my base. But on the way out of the mining cave, I saw a dangerous zombie spoiner standing in my way. But wait, this is a perfect opportunity to try out my new web shooter. I started throwing down cobwebs, trapping the zombie spoiner in place and slowing him down to a crawl. With him lodged in place, it was easy to finish him off with my rockin' guitar. Yeah, that power is gonna be really useful. After that, I went back to my base and smelted the ore in my furnace until I had just enough ingots to make a metal sword and a metal pickaxe, axe, and some boots. This has been an extremely successful excursion. From day 20 to day 22, I was having the most amazing dream when I was suddenly woken up by Spider Queen standing anxiously next to my bed.
Zozo, I'm sorry to wake you up, but something really scary is happening.
Oh no, what's that?
I was playing Bohemian Rhapsody a little too loudly, and I think Piglet's heard me. Long story short, she's standing outside.
What?
Now I think we need to fight her.
It's too dangerous for you, Spider Queen. Stay in here. I'll go and face her alone. And that's exactly what I did. I got out of bed and ran out to battle Piglet, who was still wielding her terrifying mace.
There you are, Spider-Man. Not so tough with all your colorful friends no longer around. It's time for you to meet your doom.
I keep telling you, I'm not the Spider-Man you're looking for. I come from a different dimension. I'm the Ice Spider-Man.
Well, even if you aren't my Spider-Man, I'll still settle for getting to destroy a Spider-Man. And you'll do just fine.
If your mind's made up, then I guess we better fight! And we did, but this time, I had a way better chance. I threw down some cobwebs immediately, trapping Piglet in place before pulling out my iron sword and going to town. In the end, she broke free from the cobwebs, but she seemed startled.
You're stronger than I remember. I don't have time for this. We'll battle again soon, and next time, you won't be so lucky.
She fled after that, leaving me feeling stronger and more confident than ever. If I keep getting stronger, I think I can finally take her. From day 23 to day 26, I spent some time at my base, calmly collecting myself and spitting together a new addition to my spider suit. I used the wool from the sheep I got from Richie and some emu feathers that were laying on the ground to weave some outback leggings. With these, I could move faster and dodge out of the way of projectiles. Now I've really got the agility of a spider. It wouldn't be perfect. There was only about a 45% chance I'd be able to avoid oncoming attacks, but it was the edge I would need in my next battle with Piglet. And if you think this adventure is getting wild, then you should search for more videos and see more of my Minecraft challenges. Just type ZOZO into the search bar up above. From day 27 to day 31, while I was still hunkered down at the base in the Sika Woods, I noticed Spider Queen seemed to be struggling with her statue. What's wrong, Spider Queen?
Zozo, I just feel so under pressure. It's pushing down on me. I want to get the statue finished, but I'm missing a very key component.
Hey, it's okay. You've been doing great so far. Here, why don't I help you out? What's this component you need to add to your statue?
I just need some redstone blocks.
Say no more. I'll go and fetch some.
Thank you, Zozo.
I ventured off to track down large quantities of redstone, making my way towards the Twilight Valley. This place was a lot darker than the other areas I had visited. The shadows were the perfect cover for some bubble monsters to sneak up and ambush me.
There he is! Get him! Piglet's orders!
Hey, come on, guys. Surely there's a peaceful way around this. Piglet can't be paying you that much.
It's not always about the money, Spider-Man. It's about the Mets, baby. Let's go. Get a home run!
Jerry, quiet down. Sorry, he gets a little excited about baseball. Oh, hey, where'd he go?
Over here, Bubble Brain. I turned the shadows to my advantage and struck the bubble monsters in place with my cobweb attacks. They tried to swipe at me from the spots they were stuck to, but a few swinging smashes with my slamming six strings and their bubbles were burst. And just my luck, nearby there was a large deposit of redstone ore, so I gathered it up for Spider Queen. From day 32 to day 35, I continued patrolling around the Twilight Valley for any more signs of trouble, along with any more useful resources I could bring back. And while I was wandering around, I overheard the sound of distressed wailing.
Help! Oh, won't someone help me? I'm far too important to need to ask for help.
Hey there, who are you?
Oh,
Oh, what a rather humorous joke. Quite amusing, yes, imagine not knowing who I am. Why, you've cheered me up somewhat, small spidery peasant.
I wasn't kidding. I don't know who you are.
Don't know? How insulting. I am royalty. I am the king pig, pig-headed head of the pig-head monarchy.
Oh, my bad. Are you needing help with something?
Well, it's about time you offered. My benefactor, the rich mummy, has run afoul of a hairy troll. And since he provides me with a lion's share of his wealth, I'm distraught. He's not even written me into his will yet, so I won't get any of his gold if that troll smashes him.
You, want me to go save him? I am a superhero after all.
Oh, a hero of the common folk. How quaint. Yes, on you go, Spider Boy.
It's Spider-Man! Ice Spider-Man! From day 36 to day 39, I searched the Twilight Valley for any signs of this rich mummy, and eventually came across my first sign of where he might be, a troll's mini base. I watched from a distance, and it looked like the hairy troll was guarding the front entrance. If I tried to just walk up, he could smash me to spider smithereens. So I had to think up a strategy. How was I going to get in there? I'd need to take the troll out, but attacking head-on was a bad idea. Sneaking around the back? It could work, but it might take too long, and the rich mummy might be doomed if the troll got hungry before I could reach him. Think, Zozo, think! You can do whatever a spider can. Oh, could I climb in? I tried on a nearby tree, but I couldn't stick to it. No climbing up walls for me, that stinks. I could ride my web shooter, but he will spot me immediately. That's not gonna work either. Maybe my best option was to look for another way in. From day 40 to day 43, I made my way around the outskirts of the troll's mini base, and lucky for me, there was a back entrance. Inside, I found the rich mummy trapped in a cage.
Who might you be? Oh no, you're not with him, are you? Oh ghastly, you must be his torturer.
No, I'm Ice Spider-Man. I'm here to save you. Just keep it down. I need to clear the way ahead. Then I'll come back for you. I snuck through the base and spotted the hairy troll. He didn't see me coming, so I used the element of surprise while I had it. I spun my webs to catch him in place, but he was strong enough to tear himself free. It barely slowed him down. He swung his mace at me, and I was luckily able to dodge out of the way just in the nick of time, thanks to my Outback leggings. I retaliated by swinging my guitar at him, but the hairy troll had a high resistance to rock. Thinking quick, I used my webs again, not to get him stuck, but to blind him. It worked! I could get close enough to bash the hairy troll with my guitar and defeated him! With the troll out of the way, I went back to free the rich mummy and led him back to the king pig.
Reginald, so good to see you. Thank you for your assistance, Spider Peasant. You may leave my mighty presence now.
So much for grateful. From day 44 to day 49, I finally made my way back to base to deliver the redstone blocks that Spider Queen needed.
This is perfect. Exactly what I needed. Zozo, you make the rockin' world go round.
It was no problem, Spider Queen. Can't wait to see what you do with it. It was then that I took a look around the base. The whole place was in a real sorry state. I decided now that I had a moment to spare, I'd dedicate some time to cleaning up and improving the base with some defensive upgrades. I built a sturdy perimeter wall to stop any intruders from getting in. By the time I was done, Spider Queen had something to show me.
Ta-da! Open your eyes, look up to the sky, and see!
Wow, that's really something, Spider Queen.
Thanks, Zozo. It's not quite done, but it'll rock you when it's finished.
From day 50 to day 53, I awoke to the sound of a struggle. Spider Queen was in trouble.
Zozo, help! Help me! I want to break free! I've got to break free!
I rushed into action, but as soon as I stepped out of my room, I was greeted by a gang of bubble monsters.
Rise and shine, Ice Spider-Man.
I didn't order room service, guys.
It's on the house, no charge. Speaking of, boys, charge!
Outside, Pigless had arrived, and she was sending in hordes of her bubble minions to attack. I hadn't even had breakfast yet, and now I had to fend off monsters with all of my might. Good thing I got in my 8 hours last night.
We got that Spotty you're looking for, boss.
You idiots! That's the musician! I wanted the little brat in blue pajamas, not Leggy Mercury here!
I was still battling the bubble monsters. By the time I had finally burst every last one of them, I had gained enough XP to level up. Wow, I've heard some people start their day with a workout, but this is insane! I now had 50 hearts and a new ability, Ice Blast! I was quickly becoming the coolest superhero around. There was one problem, I'd lost my musical guest in the process. From day 54 to day 57, I decided my only option was to return to the pompous King Pig and see if he knew where I could find Pigless. King Pig, Pigless. I wonder if the two of them are related. Yeah, probably just a coincidence. A short journey later, and I was back in the Twilight Valley. All I had to do was listen out for the sounds of stolen moneybags, and sure enough, I found the monarch in front of his castle.
Oh, you're back. Spider something, wasn't it? Did one of my servants send for you?
No, I'm here to ask you some questions. And since you didn't even thank me for saving your friend, I'd say you at least owe me a little bit of your time.
My time is very valuable, like all the jewels and gemstones my servants brought me from far away. But I suppose I have a few moments to spare.
My friend was taken by Pigless. I need to know where she is.
Pigless? Pigless? Do not speak that name.
You know each other then?
She's a traitor to the crown, a deserter. She stormed out when she figured out she'd never be next in line to the throne. Gave her a real complex. She feels like she's better than everyone, but still not good enough if she can't rule.
Wait, so does that make her your sister? Or no, cousin? Royalty is confusing, and it seems like a lot of fuss over nothing.
Nothing? How dare you? We uphold a proud and noble tradition of theft. A tradition of tradition.
So where is Pigless now?
I don't keep in touch. She said some very hurtful things about me which weren't at all true. But last I heard, she resides in Red Rock Mountain, although the terrain is harsh, so you won't make it there in one piece with so little armor.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to follow up on the one useful piece of advice the King Pig had to offer and set about crafting myself some tough new armor. I scoured the area until I found a cave that led to a mine tucked away deep underground, and in the mine was plenty of what I needed: diamonds! I managed to find quite a few, but not enough to make the armor I needed. Not wanting them to go to waste, I forged them into a mighty diamond sword for stronger attacks, and a matching pickaxe to make mining quicker and easier. I didn't have to wait long to test them out either. As it turned out, the mine belonged to a skeleton jackal who was none too happy about me mining his diamonds. But it didn't take more than a few swings of my shiny new blade to settle our differences. From day 63 to day 66, I decided, rather than rushing straight back into danger and venturing up the treacherous terrain of the Red Rock Mountain, I hiked back to base to catch up on some rest. That way, I could be ready and refreshed when I set off to save Spider Queen. But speaking of Spider Queen, when I returned to base, I was met with a saddening sight. Her statue, left unfinished now that she'd been captured. I thought about completing it in her honor, but it felt too much like admitting defeat before I'd even tried to save her. So instead, I left it as it was. She could have the satisfaction of finishing her hard work once I'd gotten her back in one piece. Knowing her, she was probably looking forward to it. I settled in for the night, right in Spider Queen's bedroom. That way, I feel closer to her. Watch till the end of the video to see if we manage to save her. And why not click that subscribe button down below to stay tuned for future videos. From day 67 to day 70, I made my long journey towards Red Rock Mountain, scaling the dangerous Crimson Cliff Face and being careful to watch my step. One fall, and it could be all over. As I descended from the peaks, I spotted a path. I followed until I saw the looming structure that Pigless had made into her base, and the whole place was massive and absolutely crawling with her minions. While I was still scoping it out from a distance, I thought back to my mission to save the rich zombie from that hairy troll, and how I hadn't been able to enter through the front, but had better luck looking for a second way in. So I tried the same tactic again, heading around, scaling massive mountains, swinging from one hilltop to the other until I made it to the side of the base. I saw my entry point, an opening in the side. I aimed carefully and shot my web shooter to make my way in, and I landed right in the middle of a group of bubble monsters.
It's the spider! Get this sucker, boys!
Heck of a way to roll out the welcome wagon. You treat all your guests like this? I swung my diamond sword and instantly slashed the nearest two, taking care of the next with a well-timed ice blast. Another hit from my sword, and he was shattered to pieces, while the others were quickly stuck fast with my webs right where I could strike at them. From day 71 to day 74, I snuck around the inside of Red Rock Mountain Base, making sure to keep out of the path of Pigless's many minions. But there was one enemy I recognized.
Halt in the name of Pigless! Oh wait, it's you, Zozo!
Barry? Barry B. Benson?
Black and yellow, hello!
How are things with you and your wife?
Hard to say. We're still going through it. We're planning to go see a concert soon. She likes jazz.
That's good. So you're not gonna attack me?
Nah, you're good. I just need to think about some things.
It wasn't hard to see that his heart really wasn't all in on working for Pigless.
It's a good job. I mean, there's not a lot of coverage, no dental, stuff like that.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, sure. Listen, I shouldn't tell you this, but check the chest in the room up ahead. There's some handy stuff in there.
I went to investigate and found myself the proud owner of a full set of diamond armor. Whoa, Barry wasn't kidding. Now I can match the speed of a spider with the protection of diamonds. From day 75 to day 78, I explored a little more and found where Pigless had left Spider Queen trapped in a big cage. She'd clearly been singing to herself to keep her spirits up, but by now, she was just yelling in case any of the bubble monsters were passing by.
I just gotta get out of this prison cell. Someday I'm gonna be free. Look, I want to break free. I've got to break free. Now? Please? Easy come, easy go. Will you let me go?
Now's good for you then?
Zozo! Oh, you're a sight for sore eyes. I've been so bored cooped up here. I want to get out and have fun. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike.
You have a bike? But you've got 8 legs.
I think it's a metaphor or something.
Well, I've got just the thing to break you out.
Gunpowder? Gelatine? Dynamite with a laser beam?
Close. It's a diamond sword. With a swing of the blade, I cracked open the lock and sent Spider Queen back to our base. She rushed off, and not a moment too soon, because Pigless had found me.
You! First you intrude on my dimension, then you intrude on my home. I'm going to squash you at long last, puny spider!
Pigless came at me, but I was able to freeze one of her feet in place, then web her hands to slow her down. I leaped close to swipe at her with my diamond sword, but just when I thought I had the upper hand, she knocked me back with a powerful hit. I decided to escape while I still could, and dashed out of the base. From day 79 to day 84, I was exhausted from the fighting, so the Spider Queen offered to give me a ride, which was really nice of her. We managed to make our way back to safety, but little did I realize that Pigless had had enough.
That little wretch! How dare he try to defy my right to rule! He and the rest of this overworld will soon see that they shouldn't have messed with Pigless!
With that, Pigless used a powerful potion to make herself even stronger. Now she'd be an even tougher fight when it came time for me to face off with her again. From day 85 to day 89, we arrived back at base, and my good friend Spider Queen, whose ride was surprisingly comfy, was super happy to be free from Pigless's cage.
Pigless thought she could stop me and spit in my eye. But we did it. We are the champions, my friend.
We sure are.
Look, I managed to swipe this from one of the guards at Pigless's base. I thought I could use it to break free, but instead, I was just screaming, "Let me out!" Anyway, I think you should have it. You're gonna take on the world someday.
Spider Queen handed me the upgrade. It was a fire aspect and sharpness 2 enchantment. I immediately went to apply it to my diamond sword to deal some extra damage. Now, I had the power of ice, fire, and spiders on my side. Once I was done improving my sword, I returned to find Spider Queen putting the final finishing touches on her statue.
Heyo, are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Then may I present to you my masterpiece. I call it Zohemian Rhapsody.
Zohemian?
Named after you, of course, Zozo. I can't keep living without you by my side.
I like it. Makes me feel ready to take on Pigless one last time.
Well, you better be careful. I saw she had a whole cabinet of potions to make her stronger. The bubble monsters steal them from King Pig's cellar and bring them back to her.
Maybe I can intercept them and take a potion for myself. That ought to level the playing field.
And that way, you'll keep on fighting to the end.
From day 90 to day 94, I headed back towards the Twilight Valley and followed a trail that the bubble monsters had left from the King Pig's palace to a small camp they had set up nearby. Just like Spider Queen had told me, they had a potion of power, but it must have been the last one left.
Yep, that's the last one left. Hey, boss, question. If Pigless had us stealing all these here potions, why doesn't she give each of us one? Then we'd all be a tougher army, and she could overthrow the King Pig.
We're not about that kind of talking. The potions are for Pigless.
I webbed the closest bubble monster in place, slashing the other with my newly enchanted fire aspect diamond sword. The heat popped them in an instant, and before the other two could get free, I cut them down too. I retrieved the last potion of power, but waited before I drank it. The King Pig's palace was only a short walk away, and maybe I could get one last favor from him. From day 95 to day 97, I walked right up to the King Pig's throne and showed him what I had recovered. You know what this is?
Why, that's an excellent vintage. One glass is worth the yearly wages of my entire staff. You'd better put that back in the cellar with the others before I have you executed.
There are no more others. Pigless had been sending her minions in to steal them from right under your nose.
Pigless?
Something must be done about that treasonous traitor.
I'll take care of Pigless, but only if you let me keep this potion and be way nicer to your servants. In fact, stop hoarding all this fancy expensive stuff. Learn to share.
Share? What is that? I'm not familiar with this common folk slang.
You have a whole library here. Look it up in the dictionary. After a few moments of learning what sharing was, the King Pig returned.
Preposterous! If how do I pronounce it? Shared, I wouldn't have all my power and riches.
But that might not be such a bad thing, if even a fraction of your wealth might improve the lives of other people.
So if I, say for example, just gave you this netherite armor, then how would that improve anyone's life?
Well, with that, I could take down Pigless, which is also what you want, isn't it?
Yes, but confound it! What commoner wizardry is this? You've confused me. I need to go lie down. Here, this is yours, I think.
With that, the King Pig handed over an entire set of netherite armor. Now I had the most powerful protection against Pigless. On day 98, I returned to my base to make the final preparations I needed to ahead of my big battle with Pigless. I had my diamond sword at the ready, enchanted with a powerful fire aspect for added flaming damage. I had my netherite armor on, ready to defend me against oncoming damage. Plus, I had my Ice Spider-Man powers at the ready. I even tested out my ice blasts and cobwebs, and they were ready to go. Before leaving though, I stopped by Spider Queen's room to tell her how to get to Max's neighborhood. If I didn't make it back, she would need a safe place to live. Now there was just one question: what was going to happen next? If you think you know, then leave your answers in the comments. And while you're there, tell us what video you'd like to see next. On day 99, I made my final journey to Red Rock Mountain and stopped just outside the entrance to Pigless's base. It was quiet, too quiet. All her minions seemed to have run off in fear. If they were that scared of her new, more powerful form, then I needed to be prepared. I drank the potion of power, and this upgraded me to my final form. I now had a full 100 hearts, and the last of my Ice Spider-Man powers were finally unlocked. I could climb walls. Ready for anything, I headed inside to find Pigless waiting for me. She was much bigger and stronger than before, and way more vicious.
I was meant to rule this overworld. It's my birthright, and I won't have you meddling in my destiny any longer.
Oh, I don't think so, Pigless. The battle was on. Pigless hurled a javelin at me, but thanks to my super spider agility and my outback leggings, I dodged right out of the way, then climbed up the nearby wall so I was out of her reach. From my vantage point, I fired ice blasts and cobwebs at her, trying to slow her down.
Get down from there!
She threw another javelin, and I went to get out of the way, but I timed it wrong and fell. I quickly picked myself up and got back into the fight. It was the toughest of battles, but Pigless seemed to be overexerting herself. I managed to keep dodging away, climbing the walls, and using my webs to slow her down, until finally I landed an ice blast.
This is too cold.
Don't worry, my sword has a fire aspect enchantment. It should help turn up the heat. With a mighty strike, I had done it! Pigless was defeated at last! On day 100, instead of returning to my base, I returned victorious to Max's neighborhood, where I was immediately greeted by Spider Queen, as well as Max and his friends.
Another one bites the dust. Great work, Zozo. I knew you were gonna be a big man someday.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you, Spider Queen.
Oh, you're too kind. You're the champion here, Zozo.
Spider Queen really livened the place up with her music, but we're glad to see you made it back in one piece.
Me too, and everyone should click the link in the description to check out the adventure we went on together. Then, much to my surprise, the King Pig also showed up.
Zozo, my boy, you didn't tell me that sharing also came with this delightful feeling. I don't really know what it's called, but seeing the smiles on my servants' faces gave me one of those, what are they called? Emotions?
You mean you feel happy?
That's the ticket, and I've been reading up too. Did you know that all the traditions of the pighead monarchy are centuries old? It seems so silly to still be upholding them.
So what did you do?
Oh, I gave my palace and all my riches to my servants. Except they aren't my servants anymore, just people. And so am I. Look at me, one of the people. Now, who is your charming eight-legged friend here?
Well, you might be a former King Pig, but she's Spider Queen.
And we will rock you.
On day 1, I spawned into the frozen lakes as an ice witherstorm. Whoa, even as a baby ice witherstorm, I'm pretty awesome. And thank goodness, because I don't feel cold out here either. But my celebrations were interrupted when I heard the flapping of mighty wings coming towards me. I looked up and saw a huge ice dragon floating in the air above me.
You!
Me?
Don't be funny with me, boyo. What's your name?
I'm Zozo, mister.
I'm Ivan the Ice Dragon, and that means ice is my thing. You think you can steal my thing, you wee little witherstorm? I'll teach you what it means to be truly ice cold.
Ivan fired a huge ice blast down towards me. It nearly hit me, but I was lucky enough to dodge at the last second. Hey, you almost hit me.
Yeah, that's what we in the business call a warning shot, dummy. The next one will come when you least expect it. You want to keep the icy cred? You've got 100 days to earn it, or frostbite is gonna be the least of your worries.
He unleashed an even more powerful ice blast, and this time I just had to run for my life. Gotta beat Ivan, or he's gonna freeze me to my doom. On day 2, I wandered further across the frozen lakes. In weather this freezing, even I started to feel the cold. This is so embarrassing for an ice witherstorm. Maybe I just need some food. I only have 10 hearts. It's important to keep my hunger bar filled up. I searched across the frozen lakes until I finally found an apple tree. It's not easy to grow food in a place this cold, so I needed to enjoy everything I could get. I broke down the tree and ate some of the apples, solving the hunger situation. But it didn't solve the situation of a dread thrall charging out of the distance.
Huh, enjoy those apples, you little baby. That's such a baby thing to do. Eat apples.
Is it? I'm not sure I follow your logic here.
It makes sense when you're a dread thrall, okay? It's like a cultural thing. Anyways, let's fight. Ivan told me that a witherstorm was trying to jack his style. I owe it to him to put you down.
The dread thrall ran at me and unleashed some powerful attacks. I wasn't strong enough to fight him yet, so all I could do was break away from the fight and run for my life. I got out of there as fast as I could, but as I cowered behind a pile of snow, I heard something approaching. I was terrified, worried that it could be the dread thrall. Instead, a cyclops stepped out.
Come with me if you want to live.
How could I deny an offer like that? On day 3, the cyclops led me across a safe part of the frozen lakes, telling me to keep as quiet as possible.
You need to keep a low profile around here if you want to last. Ivan's dread thralls are all over the place.
Where are you taking me?
Shh, somewhere safe. That's all you need to know.
I kept quiet as the cyclops led me. Then he suddenly stopped.
This is as far as I'll go. It's too dangerous for us all to be in one place. Go forward 50 paces and you'll see a dodo hippogriff at a campfire. Speak to him and then come back to me when you're done.
Okay, understood. I followed the Cyclops' instructions until, predictably, I found myself at the campfire where the dodo hippogriff was waiting.
He sent you. Good. You follow orders. You might have a better chance of surviving than the last one.
Wait, what do you mean, the last one?
You think you're the first ice witherstorm to spawn here? There have been many, and Ivan has destroyed them all out of his evil jealousy.
But if he's after ice witherstorms, why are you and that Cyclops guy so afraid of him and his goons?
Your people have the worst of it, but Ivan is a nightmare for all of us. Anyone who bruises his ego gets destroyed. We want him gone, and with our powers combined, we can make it happen.
What do I need to do?
Go with Cyclops. Train. Get stronger. If he finds you this threatening now, imagine what you can do when you reach full power.
From day 4 to day 5, I carried out the dodo hippogriff's wishes and left with the Cyclops. I knew that if I was going to survive this, I needed to put a roof over both of our heads. Sit tight, Cyclops. I'm gonna make us some tools and get started. I knocked down a tree with my Witherstorm strength and made the pieces into a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined into the ground and collected some stone. I had to be careful where I mined and built because some areas were just a thin layer of ice over water. When I had enough stone, I built myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. With my spare stone, I started building a basic 2-room base to protect myself and Cyclops from the elements.
This is a good start, Zozo. Solid, but low-key. This won't attract any undue attention.
Thank you, I think. But it may not have been that low-key. All that building had attracted a dangerous dirt scorpion a long way away from home. As it attacked, this time I fought back until the dirt scorpion was defeated. This gave me the XP to level up getting 30 hearts, and a new power, Ice Blast. Now I can finally start living up to my Ice WITHERSTORM name. From day 6 to day 8, I left the Cyclops back at the base while I went out to explore a nearby frosty mountain range called the Alps. Wow, the air is very thin up here. I probably wouldn't make a habit of hanging out up here. But my thoughts were interrupted by an adorable orange and white kitty running up towards me.
Please, stranger, I need some help. There's something terrible happening back there.
Calm down, calm down. What's going on here, kitty?
A dread scuttler. It's horrible, and it was chasing after me. I was so scared.
Don't worry, kitty. You just hang back here, and I'll go take care of it.
Thank you, stranger. Thank you.
Please, call me Zozo. I braced myself and went off in the direction that the kitty came from. It didn't take me long to find the dread scuttler, and with the help of my ice blast and my stone sword, it didn't take long for me to beat it either. Afterwards, the kitty approached me, happy that I'd taken care of the nasty dread scuttler.
Zozo, that was amazing. You're the best.
Please, it was nothing.
Well, if it was so easy, maybe you'll help me take care of a dreadlich not far from here. He's been causing a lot of trouble.
Sure, I'll always do my best. From day 9 to day 10, I followed Kitty's instructions and went further into the Alps. That's where I found the dreadlich waiting.
So, you're the one who destroyed my dread scuttler. Do you have any idea how hard those are to summon? I'll make you pay for this, you wretched little ice WITHERSTORM.
Talk is cheap, dreadlich. Let's duke it out. But it didn't take me long to regret being so gung-ho. The dreadlich was way tougher than I thought. He tanked my attacks and returned with some magical attacks of his own. My only option was to run away and survive to fight another day. I met with Kitty again and told her the bad news.
Don't beat yourself up, Zozo. You tried your best, and you did an amazing job getting rid of the dread scuttler.
And I'm gonna take care of the dreadlich too, but I need to get stronger first. Why don't you come and stay at my base in the frozen lakes? It'll probably be safer there.
That's a very generous offer, Zozo, and I think I'll take you up on it.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Kitty and quickly set about building a new room in my base for her to stay. I made sure it was the kind of room that'd be really cozy for a cute little kitty. What do you think, Kitty?
I think you did an amazing job, Zozo. So amazing, in fact, that I made a few base upgrades of my own to repay you.
And Kitty certainly had made some awesome upgrades. She'd created a sheep farm full of, yep, you guessed it, sheep. She'd also created a furnace and a storage room. Are you implying I should go and forge myself some new weapons, Kitty?
Nothing gets past you, Zozo.
I searched until I found a decent cavern for mining, and searched until I found a healthy vein of iron ore. I dug up the ore and took it back to my base with me. There, I used the furnace Kitty built to smelt my ore into iron ingots. And with those and some sticks, I made myself an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Now I'm stronger than ever before. That's what I'm talking about. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke to the Cyclops again, asking if he had any advice on how to get strong enough to defeat Ivan the Ice Dragon.
Well, what have you fought so far?
I've fought a lot of things.
Fought and beat, I mean.
Oh, a dirt scorpion and a dread scuttler.
You're gonna need to fight stronger things than big bugs if you want to really level up, Zozo. Go back to the Alps and find something worth defeating there. Only true challenge will help you grow your skills.
Great advice, Cyclops. Following his advice, I went back to the Alps. Even making my way up there was exhausting. This was going to be more challenging than I thought.
Hey, if it isn't the big, goofy, apple-eating baby. I knew I'd find you eventually, and now you're doomed.
It was the same dread thrall who'd hassled me earlier, but this time I wasn't going to talk to him. I was going to fight him, and I was going to win. With a combination of ice blasts and lethal strikes from my iron sword, the dread thrall was vanquished, and I picked up a healing potion he dropped. Once I'd swigged it down, I started to transform. I got bigger, stronger. I had 60 hearts and a new ability, shooting with a wither skull. Half ice, half witherstorm. My power is really coming along. From day 16 to day 19, I went from the mountains of the Alps to the even higher frozen peaks. If getting challenged makes you tougher, I'm gonna be as tough as one of these mountains soon. During my journey, I happened upon a book laying on the ground. Its title read, Dread Thrall's Diary. Well, this seems like essential reading. There was a section that read, Ivan's been such a drag since that ice WITHERSTORM turned up. He's so paranoid and stuck in his own head. He started staying in that base in the eroded Badlands. What kind of ice dragon hangs out in the Badlands? It's way too hot there. He's staying in the eroded Badlands? That's really useful information. I looked up and saw another dread thrall standing a few feet from me.
Hey, that's my diary, you jerk! Oh!
Before he said another word, I blasted the dread thrall with a powerful wither skull, and he was no more. From day 20 to day 22, while heading back from the frozen peaks, I wiped out a small but vicious gang of coyotes. It feels good to be so powerful. I think I've earned myself a treat. I returned to my favorite mining cavern and collected a few extra chunks of iron ore. Then, I returned to my base and used the furnace to smelt them into iron ingots. From that, I built myself an iron chestplate and equipped it. You probably can't see it in all my Witherstorm swirls, but it feels good to know it's there. With my new power and new armor, I felt the confidence to go back and settle an old score. I returned to the Alps, where I saw the Dreadlich waiting.
Ready for me to hand you your Ice Witherstorm Heiny, eh, Zozo?
I'd like to see you try, Dreadlich. This time, it was a much more even fight. With my Wither Skulls and Ice Blast, this time I put him down for good. Kitty is gonna be so pleased when I tell her. Suddenly, a chill went down my already chilly Ice Witherstorm spine. I heard the great flapping of wings in the sky above and saw Ivan the Ice Dragon coming towards me.
Oh, there you are, you little plagiarist. You lazy copycat. I'm gonna be the only ice being out here.
As strong as I'd gotten, I still wasn't tough enough to take on Ivan yet. I did the only thing I could and ran. From day 23 to day 26, I made it safely back to my base and rushed to tell Kitty the good news. Hey, Kitty, remember that Dreadlich you were having trouble with?
You mean the one you were having trouble with, Zozo?
Well, those troubles are over. I defeated him.
Perfect! Nicely done, Zozo!
I didn't want to rest on my victory for too long. After all, I had only just narrowly escaped from Ivan. I still needed to get much stronger if I was going to take him down for good. I decided to venture back to the mines and have another shot at gathering up some more iron ore. Luckily for me, there was plenty to be found in another vein underground, and I hacked away with my pickaxe. Once I had gathered up enough ore, I smelted it into some shiny new iron ingots. I had plenty to smith myself an iron helmet and sturdy pair of iron boots to match my chest piece. Now, I was fully protected.
Zozo, come have a look!
What's new, Kitty Cat? Whoa! Kitty had been working on an upgrade to my base as a way of saying thank you for helping her out. She'd built a brand new perimeter wall to keep danger at bay. Now I wasn't the only one with added protection. My base and my friends were too. From day 27 to day 31, I headed back to the frozen peaks. Now that a few of the dread thralls and that pesky Dreadlich were taken care of, it was a bit safer for me to explore the area. Although, I had my guard up when I spotted a mighty behemoth. But was he a friend or foe?
Relax, little Ice Witherstorm. Take a chill pill.
Sorry, I can't be too careful with Ivan and his dread horde around.
Oh, that buzzkill. Yeah, I can imagine he would have given an icicle like you a really icy reception.
Are you gonna keep making jokes like that all day?
Sorry, man. I'm just feeling pretty good since you took out all those dread thralls. It's made things around here way cooler. But you know there's still plenty of Ivan's minions around, right?
You're right, and it's not safe for you here, Behemoth. Head back to my base with me.
Sweet! You're a pretty chilled guy, Zozo.
I made my way back to the base with the behemoth. Once we had returned, I was able to grab some wool from the flock of sheep in the pen and use that wool to make some nice decorative banners that really livened the place up. Once the decorating work was done, the Cyclops ran over in a panic.
Zozo, come quickly. I need your help. There's another challenge that might help build your strengths.
Then lead the way. From day 32 to day 35, my Cyclops friend and mentor took me towards the frozen lakes, where we came across a sight that even made my Ice Witherstorm self shiver. A swarm of Ivan the Ice Dragon's dread thralls were chasing after Dodo the Hippogriff.
Zozo, help! It's Ivan. He's found me. He's on to us.
I leapt into battle, swinging my iron sword to chop down some of the dread thralls. I let off an ice blast, then another attack, my wither skull blast. I was desperately trying to clear a path to reach the Dodo Hippogriff, but there were just too many dread thralls in the way. No! The dread thralls destroyed the Dodo Hippogriff. I slashed my sword at them, taking down each and every one of them, until not a single thrall was left standing. But I was still too late.
From day 36 to day 39, I decided to wander off on my own for a little while. I needed to clear my head and be alone with my thoughts. I hadn't known the dodo hippogriff all that long, but I was still sad I couldn't save him. He'd had a lot of faith in me being able to take on Ivan, so I figured maybe my sadness was a reminder that I couldn't take his wisdom for granted. I had to make sure I lived up to the dodo hippogriff's expectations. On my travels, I encountered a cactoid in the Alps.
Oh, my. Will you please help me? I'm being pursued by a beastly creature.
Sure thing. Just point me at the nasty critter, and it's as good as gone. The cactoid led me to the creature that had been coming after him, a horrible hellhound. I grabbed my sword and readied for a fight. After all, the dodo hippogriff had told me the path to victory was getting stronger, and any battle was a chance to improve. I took down the hellhound with little effort and went back to the cactoid to tell him the good news.
Oh my, thank you, kind, chilly stranger. I've seen Ivan's minions on the move more and more lately. His ego must have been pricked something fierce.
Yeah, that dragon really is vain. He took out one of my friends just to get at me.
Well, he wants to be the only ice creature around. I imagine he feels threatened by you. Take it from a guy covered in spines. Some people only act tough on the outside to protect themselves on the inside.
From day 40 to day 43, I decided it was time to rejoin my friends back at the base. The Cyclops and I had parted briefly after we lost the dodo hippogriff, but I thought about what he'd said before. Only with our powers combined could we take down Ivan.
Hey there, Zozo. Glad to see you're back. Don't worry, I've been keeping an eye out while you were gone.
Thanks, Cyclops. Say, this place looks a little different.
Well, I wasn't gonna just sit around on my hands. Have a look around.
The Cyclops had worked really hard at making the base more homely, just the thing I needed to lift my spirits after losing the dodo hippogriff. He'd built plenty of new bookshelves and even a few comfy couches. You know, Cyclops, it's not like we can sit on more than one of these couches at a time.
About that, Zozo, I was wondering if I could invite some guests. There are more Cyclopses like me who have had it up to their eye with Ivan. Would you mind if they came to stay?
Not at all. The more, the merrier. After the other Cyclopses came in and found their places, the behemoth came over to talk to me.
Say, Zozo, when you've got a moment, I also have a favor to ask you.
From day 44 to day 49, I set off from my base to carry out a quest that my friend the behemoth had given me. He said that there was a silver lobo hiding somewhere in the frozen peaks, and that he had some useful info that would help me taking down Ivan, if I could take him down, that is. But while I was beginning my search, I heard the flap of 2 icy wings and had to leap out of the way as Ivan arrived, swooping in for an ambush.
There you are! I thought you would have given up after my dread thralls killed your poor friend, the dodo hippogriff. You know, he'd still be alive if you had just turned yourself over and let me destroy you, little Witherstorm.
What's your problem, Ivan? You're really going out of your way to try and stop me from getting stronger. Seems like you might be a little insecure.
You're a pest, nothing more than a chilly breeze. I'm an ice dragon. I should be the master of the freezing cold. I'll unleash a whole new ice age on this world, an endless deep freeze. But as long as you're around, you're in my way. So let's see if we can't fix that little problem.
Suddenly, a monstrous reaver burst out of nowhere and came charging towards me. Ivan had already flapped away, leaving his minion to take me on. This creature might be my toughest fight yet. From day 50 to day 53, I got to fighting the reaver. This thing was one of the most powerful mobs I'd ever seen. It was all brute strength and rage. I deflected its blows with my iron sword, the occasional hit knocking into my armor and causing me a little damage. I'd need to keep my cool if I was going to defeat this monster. Wait, that's it! I blasted the reaver with my ice blast. While the icy attack didn't freeze it completely, it did slow down the beast's attacks. I could dodge out of the way of its fist a lot easier now and got around behind it to deliver the final strike with my sword. The reaver fell. I had not only survived, but I'd beaten the creature too. But my trusty iron sword was looking a little worse for wear now. Although, much to my surprise, the reaver dropped something that could come in real handy later on, some mystical diamonds. I'll stash these in my inventory for now, but they could make me a great replacement for my sword. As soon as I touched them, I was granted a magical vision by the mystical diamonds. They showed me a little dragon, just newly hatched. It was Ivan, as a baby. He was scared and all alone, left abandoned on the top of a frozen peak. So that's why he was such a bully. He'd felt so helpless, and now he wanted to be the strongest around to avoid that feeling, even if it meant being mean to others.
From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search through the frozen peaks until I finally came upon the creature I'd been searching for, the silver lobo. This thing was nasty. I didn't even have a chance to negotiate or come up with a peaceful solution. It just lunged straight for me. Lucky for me, I had already tangled with a reaver and survived, not to mention all the dread thralls I'd taken down. So with a few blasts of wither skulls, the battle was over as quick as it began. And then I saw the thing that was so handy that the behemoth had sent me here in the first place. The silver lobo dropped a map. It had been tasked with guarding a location that obviously Ivan didn't want me getting to, so I grabbed the map and made the trek back to my base. I needed to speak with the behemoth.
Hey there, Zozo. It sure is cool to see you back in one piece.
Say, behemoth, why send me after this map?
Well, I figured you should go to where it leads and find out for yourself.
Will I find out why Ivan wants to stop me from getting stronger?
Oh, I can tell you that. He doesn't like being the weak one, and you intimidate him. An ice dragon like him can harness the frost and the freeze, but you're cooler than cool. You're ice cold. Ice withers are made of pure frozen magic. He only wants to hold you back because he knows you could outmatch him.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to do some more work on my base now that I was back for a while. I upgraded our sheep pen, making it more spacious for the flock so they could roam around a bit easier. Then, I took a look at the map I had gotten from the Silver Lobo and started to follow it to see what all the fuss was about. It only led to a mine filled with diamonds. No wonder Ivan didn't want me finding out about this place. I got to work mining as many diamonds as I could carry and raced back to my base so I could turn them into useful items. Before long, I had a brand new diamond sword to replace my worn out old iron one, along with a new diamond pickaxe to make mining a breeze. Then, just as I was finished, my Cyclops friend came up to talk to me.
Zozo, I noticed some of my fellow Cyclopses were a little bit chilly, so I made a brand new fireplace with them. Hope that's okay.
Sure, even though the cold never bothered me anyway, I'm glad you guys can keep warm. The Cyclops and his new pals had even built a whole new comfy living area for everyone to show their appreciation for being allowed to stay in the base. I had to admit, I was pretty impressed with what they'd done with the place. From day 63 to day 66, I decided to ask around my base for some advice. I knew I still wasn't tough enough to go head-to-head with Ivan yet, but I had to do something to get back at him. And besides, the Dodo Hippogriff had made me realize that teamwork was the best way to putting a stop to Ivan's plans. Eventually, the best advice came from Kitty.
You know from that Dread Thrall's diary that Ivan has a base in the eroded Badlands, right? Well, why not go and scout the place out? You don't have to go in or try and face him. Just take a look from the outside to see what it looks like and how to get there.
Good idea! A recon mission! Thanks, Kitty!
No problem, Zozo.
I made my way to the eroded Badlands, making sure I kept to the shade as often as I could, since the Badlands were so much hotter than the frozen lakes. Even though ice witherstorms like me were pure enchanted ice, I didn't want to run the risk of melting. I was able to get a good look at Ivan's base. It was well guarded by plenty of his minions. The place was crawling with dread thralls. Getting inside was going to be tricky unless I got a lot stronger. Suddenly, I caught the sound of someone sneaking up on me. It was a siren. Oh no, I thought. One of Ivan's perimeter guards had found me. But to my surprise, she wasn't with Ivan at all.
You're an Ice Witherstorm. Then the rumors were true. Come with me. There is something I need your assistance with.
From day 67 to day 70, I followed the siren as she explained what the problem was.
One of Ivan's dread beasts drove me out of my home not far from here. It's an incredibly territorial creature, and I can't convince it to leave. I need someone to, well, not to be indelicate, but someone that can remove it.
No problem, Miss Siren. I'll handle it. Sure enough, there in a clearing sat the vicious dread beast. It immediately sensed the presence of an ice witherstorm in its territory, and I got ready for a fight. After all, I'd been looking for a chance to test out my new diamond sword. The snarling dread beast was quick, but only a little bit harder to defeat than one of the dread thralls. I swung my sword at the monster, and it fell, bested in combat, and now the siren's home was free from the nasty intruder.
Oh, thank you, Zozo. I wish I could offer you more than just my gratitude, but know that should you ever need a helping hand, I will come to your aid.
Wow, thanks, Miss Siren.
From day 71 to day 74, I ventured out across the eroded Badlands, trying to get a better feel for the area and see if I could come across any hidden passageways or other areas that could offer me some secret way into Ivan's lair. I just needed to find something to give myself an advantage, and if I could get a drop on that egotistical ice dragon, maybe that would help me defeat him. I didn't find much in the way of secret tunnels, although I did pass a strange rock formation. When I looked at it from a certain angle, it almost seemed to spell out a word. If you're enjoying this video and want to see more, then find our other ones by searching ZO, or clicking the channel icon below. Suddenly, I heard a familiar flapping of some fearsome wings. Ivan! I must have wandered close enough to his base for one of his dread thralls to spot me.
You never should have come here, Zozo. I'll teach you to trespass.
Ivan fired his icy attacks at me. Under the sun of the Badlands, he was weakened. Either that, or because I was stronger now, I could take more of what he could dish out. Feeling confident, I swiped my diamond sword at him as he swooped down low, but it wasn't enough to cause any lasting damage. I still wasn't strong enough, so I dodged out of the path of Ivan's next ice blast and took cover until he flew off, frustrated he couldn't find me. He wasn't the only one feeling frustrated though. From day 75 to day 78, I headed back to base and went to sit quietly in my room. I was annoyed that I still couldn't beat Ivan in a fight. I knew all about him now, how he had become the meanest, toughest around, so nobody else could harm him, but he still needed taking down. And if I couldn't even manage to do that, then no one else had any hope of stopping him. I wasn't strong enough, and that made me feel like I'd let down the poor dodo hippogriff.
Hey, Zozo, don't feel so disheartened. Come and check out the base. We've made some improvements that are they're good.
It's okay, Behemoth. You can make a nice joke.
They're pretty cool. That's what they are. Here, I'll show you.
The Behemoth showed me around the base, eager for me to see the new battlements he and the others had been working hard to install. There was now a brand new watchtower, offering a great vantage point to spot Ivan or any of his minions coming if they ever tried to attack our base. I had to admit, even in my low mood, it helped to lift my spirits a little, but not as much as what came next.
Zozo, my Cyclops brethren and I have been talking, and I've been thinking about what the Dodo Hippogriff said to you about combining our powers. This battle axe is a sacred item to us, and, well, we think you should have it.
I was honored. I took hold of the Cyclops battle axe and hoisted it high. I could feel its magic coursing through me as I suddenly grew larger. It granted me 100 hearts and even passed on some ancient wisdom to me, how to perform a special attack called a whirlwind attack. From day 79 to day 84, I was feeling pumped for a rematch with Ivan the Ice Dragon, so I made my way back toward the Badlands to take him on with my increased strength and the Cyclops power at my side. Much to my disappointment, Ivan was nowhere to be seen, probably hiding back in the safety of his base. I did come across a fire ogre though. This was one mob I really didn't want to let get the better of me. His burning blasts of flame could have melted me. But luckily, a huge gust of wind from my whirlwind attack and some ice blasts for good measure quickly snuffed out the fire ogre for good. But before I could celebrate, I got quite the fright when a ghost appeared behind me. Hey, don't sneak up on me like that.
My apologies. I've been wandering these Badlands for longer than I could remember, just looking for where I fell in my last life.
Well, I'm sure I could help you look. The ghost and I searched around for a while, and he seemed to be pretty grateful just to have someone to talk to after being on his own for so long. After a little digging, we came across a shiny diamond helmet.
You found my helmet! This must have been where my body was. Thank you, Zozo. Now I can rest. Here, take my helmet. I'd rather it went to someone worthy like you.
This was perfect. Some added protection from attacks would give me an edge against Ivan. From day 85 to day 89, I headed back to my base, only to find a terrifying sight waiting for me, dread thralls! They were attacking my base. I jumped into action and drew my sword. I let out a blast of my whirlwind attack, sending dread thralls toppling over and flinging them into the air. I cut down 2 with my diamond sword, then froze another with an ice blast. A heavy strike with my sword, and he was gone.
Ah, jeez. They promised that ICE WITHERSTORM was just a big, goofy, apple-eating baby. That's no baby. Let's get the heck out of here.
With that, the remaining dread thralls ran off, and I rushed after them. I had to make sure they didn't make it back to Ivan. If they led him to where my base was located, he could destroy all of my friends. I wasn't about to let that happen.
I chased the dread thralls across the frozen lakes until they were pretty far from my base. I almost lost track of them, but thankfully I passed a pink pixie who pointed me in their direction.
Hurry, Zozo! Those horrid brutes are tearing through the lakes, causing chaos! Please, give them what for!
From day 90 to day 94, I caught up with the dread thralls. They'd ran all the way back to the eroded Badlands. If I didn't act quickly, they'd reveal the location of my friends to Ivan, then he'd attack. They were approaching Ivan's base when suddenly the thralls stopped. A hideous creature came out to meet them. It was a Gorgon.
What news for Master Ivan?
We found where the big goofy apple-eating baby was hiding, but he wasn't no goofy apple-eating baby. He's a powerful ice witherstorm.
Silence! Lower your voice. Don't let our master hear. I will break the news to him. First, tell me where I can find this troublesome ice witherstorm.
After the dread thralls left, I ran in to take on the Gorgon alone. I'm right here. The Gorgon gave an angry hiss as I jumped out from my hiding spot and cut down one of the thralls. I took them out much easier than when I'd first started out, but getting rid of them was only the beginning. The Gorgon attacked. I had to use all the attacks I had learned to fend him off. This was by far my toughest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I continued trading blows with the Gorgon. I thought of the Dodo Hippogriff and his wise guidance, and of the Behemoth, Kitty, and the Cyclopses, and all they had done for me. I couldn't let them down.
An icicle like you can't best me. Out here in the Badlands is where a serpent like me can thrive.
Yeah? Well, if you're anything like your boss, then you're just talking a big game to hide how uncertain you are. And I never met a snake I could trust. A snake, that was it! A cold-blooded reptile. That's why the Gorgon lived out here where it was warm. If I used my frosty powers, I could make him drowsy, slow him down. So that's what I did, firing off as many ice blasts as I could, despite the scorching sunlight. It was working. The Gorgon's attacks got slower, easier to dodge, and I could slash the frozen parts of his body to chip away at his health. Soon, he had been defeated. I'd done it. I'd taken down Ivan's top henchman. The Gorgon even dropped a key that would get me into Ivan's base.
Wait, don't you want to know what happened to the others?
Others? The other ice witherstorms?
Yes, how my master destroyed them all.
With his dying breath, the Gorgon told me that Ivan, after being abandoned on a frosty peak, devoted himself to being the coldest creature around. He had hunted down other ice withers to absorb their freezing powers and make himself stronger. That was why he had been trying to get to me this whole time. I had to stop him, but I'd need to gear up before the final fight. On day 98, I made my way back to my base, hoping to prepare myself for my final showdown against Ivan. It had all been building to this, and I hoped I was ready. First, I spoke to Behemoth.
Don't worry, Zozo. I'm sure you've got what it takes to take down Ivan. You're the coolest customer I know.
Thanks for that, Behemoth. Then, Kitty.
Zozo, take care! Remember to lick your wounds, and don't fight if you've got a hairball. Trust me on that one.
I'll take your word for it, Kitty. And finally, the Cyclops.
Listen, Zozo, I can't thank you enough for giving me and my Cyclops friends a home. I think the Dodo Hippogriff would be proud of how far you've come. We combined our powers, and it made you the powerful ice witherstorm you are.
I just hope that I'm ready to take on Ivan.
None of us are ever ready for challenges, Zozo. We just have to tell ourselves we are, and remember what challenges are for.
They're to make us stronger. On day 99, I made my way back toward the lair of Ivan the Ice Dragon, passing the Alps on my journey towards the eroded Badlands. When I finally reached my destination, it seemed Ivan hadn't taken the fall of his Gorgon too well. The place was crawling with dread thralls. I knew I could handle a group of them, but this was way more than I had ever seen. What I could really do with is getting help getting past these dread thralls.
But of course, you only had to ask Zozo.
Miss Siren!
My siren song can distract these thralls for a time. That should help you deal with them. You go in there and take on Ivan once and for all.
On day 100, I made my way into the heart of Ivan's lair and came face to face with the frozen dragon himself.
So, you've come to get melted, like all the other ice witherstorms.
No way, Ivan. I'm here to stop you. I understand why you feel the need to be so tough, but it doesn't excuse hurting people.
I am tough. Why do you think that me, an ice dragon, would make my home here in the eroded Badlands? Because I'm strong enough, cold enough to withstand the heat.
Let's see about that. We clashed. The fight was on. Ivan was much bigger than me and could fly, so he already had a few advantages I didn't. But I had plenty of my own. I was smaller, faster, and far stronger than when we had last fought. Like before, I kept trying to take some swings of my diamond sword whenever Ivan swooped down low and came in for an attack. This was working for a bit, but Ivan quickly realized what I was doing and began to stay, hovering in the air to evade my sword strikes. Flapping his wings to stay above me, he launched icy blasts my way, and I had to dodge as quick as I could. But that gave me an idea. Two can play that game, Ivan. I've got the power of ice, and the Cyclops is on my side. Moving quickly, I used my ice blasts. Then I stayed out of reach and fired some wither skulls his way. It worked. One more swipe of my diamond sword would finish it. Hey, Ivan, you really need to chill out. Boom! Ivan the Ice Dragon was defeated. On day 1, I spawned in the desert as a baby snow golem. I was all alone, except for a honey golem who was much bigger than me. I wasn't sure why I was here, or why I was so little. Where are all the other snow golems? What am I doing out here where it's so hot and dry? Before the honey golem could answer me, a guster blew toward us. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Gary the Guster, and there ain't a fella in the land who can take me and my Guster gang down. Just take a gander at what happens when you don't do what I say.
And with one attack, he destroyed the honey golem I spawned in next to. How could you do that? You monster!
Because I'm the baddest Guster around these parts. You got 100 days to rustle up 100 diamonds and bring the loot to me, or my gang and I will burn the nearest village to the ground, and you with it.
And with that threat, he disappeared, leaving me all alone. Oh no, I either need to gather Gary's ransom or defeat him. If I don't, there's gonna be trouble. But I'm gonna need to be a lot stronger before I can do that. On day 2, I started making my way through the desert toward the village. If they were in danger from Gary the Guster too, I needed to get there and warn them. Maybe they could help me, and we could keep each other safe. I realized I only had 5 hearts, so I would have to be careful on the way. As I was walking, a group of zombies appeared from out of a cave. What do you want?
Just keeping an eye on things for the boss. I don't see any diamonds. Maybe we ought to teach you a lesson in listening.
They attacked me, and I had nothing to fight back with. I was scared that they would take me down. I was way too small and weak to beat them right now. But just then, a bison ran up to me.
Howdy there, little snow golem. You're a long way from home.
I am, and I'm in danger.
Well, hop on my back and let's mosey on out of here. I can take us somewhere safe.
I hopped on the bison's back, and he carried me away from the zombies. Thank you. What's your name?
Iron. What's yours?
You can call me Zozo.
Mighty nice to meet you.
On day 3, Byron the Bison took me to his village. It was the same place I was trying to get to, so it all worked out pretty well. Except, of course, for the part where we had to all deal with Gary's evil plan. This is a nice village. Thank you for having me. Then, Byron took me to meet the mayor of the town. He was a golem like me, but he was an earth golem, not snow. Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Well, howdy there, little snow golem. What brings you to our town?
I quickly explained what I knew about Gary and his threat to destroy the village if I didn't bring him 100 diamonds.
That no-good scoundrel's been bothering us for some time now. Going on a few years. Maybe we can help each other out and bring him to justice once and for all.
I would love to help, but how?
Well, let's see. I reckon you'll need to make some tools, get started mining diamonds, and get a heck of a lot stronger too. We'll do whatever we can to help you do that. This town's plenty big enough for more kind-hearted folks after all. You can set up on the edge of town.
Byron and I started to leave, but the mayor had one more thing to say.
You know, this village needs a sheriff. I reckon you might just be the man for the job.
On days 4 and 5, I went out and punched some trees so I could gather enough wood to build a crafting bench. Then, I crafted some wooden tools. Once I had those, I could start gathering some stone. Hey, this is going pretty well so far. Once I had enough stone, I upgraded my tools from wood to stone ones, including a stone sword. I was ready to start building our base.
Say, Zozo, if you're fixing to be the sheriff, let's say we build you a sheriff station with a jail inside.
That's a perfect idea, Byron. We can use it as an armory too. It'll be the perfect place to help keep the village safe from Gary and his gang of goons. Then, I had a brilliant idea. Byron, every sheriff needs a deputy.
Do you want the job?
Well, shucks, Zozo. I'd be honored.
With Byron chosen as my deputy, we got to work building our base, a couple of jail cells, and 2 rooms for us to sleep in. The mayor stopped by to admire our progress.
This looks mighty fine, boys. Here, Zozo. This should help you get started.
The mayor handed me a strong potion. I drank it and felt myself grow a little bit bigger, and I gained 2 hearts. On days 6 through 8, I explored the desert around the village, looking for more materials. While I was walking around, I saw a roadrunner being attacked by a nest of rattlesnakes. Hey, you leave her alone! I rushed at them with my stone sword and began to fight. They turned their attention away from the roadrunner and started attacking me instead. It was a tough fight, but after a long while, I knocked down the last rattlesnake.
Oh, thank you kindly.
The roadrunner ran over to me.
My name is Rhonda, and you're my hero.
Just doing my duty, ma'am. What are you doing all the way out here?
I got lost in the desert. I was looking for help getting back to my nest. It's in a cave, you see, but it isn't safe for me to go alone. My eggs are in there. I need to get to them before something terrible happens.
Well, that sounds like a job for the local sheriff. On days 9 and 10, Rhonda and I made our way to the cave where her nest was.
I wanted my nest to be out of the sun, and this cave used to be safe. But when people started mining in there, it woke something up. Something terrible. This is it. Please be careful, Sheriff Zozo.
I'll do my best. I drew my sword and crept into the cave.
What are you doing in my cave?
A werewolf jumped out of the shadows and roared at me. This cave belongs to more than just you.
This cave ain't big enough for the both of us.
He swiped at me with his claws and knocked me back into the wall of the cave. I dropped my sword, and when I ran to pick it up, he hit me again. Uh-oh, this guy is way too strong.
Get out now, or I'll finish you off.
I'll have to come back and face him again when I'm stronger. I need to go help Rhonda. I ran out of the cave, where Rhonda was waiting. I'm sorry, he's too strong. But please, come back to town with me. You can stay at my sheriff's station until we can come back. I'll help you get your eggs back, I promise. On days 11 and 12, I returned to my base with Rhonda. I built her a room, including a crafting bench and a chest.
Thank you for the help, Zozo. It means the world to me.
Of course, I'm happy to help. Now that we're safe, do you know anything about Gary the Guster?
Not too much, only that he's got a hankering for diamonds and power, and won't let anything stand in his way. He's hurt a lot of people, made himself a lot of enemies. If we all band together, maybe we can do something about him.
That's what I've been thinking too. Glad we're on the same team. After my chat with Rhonda, I went mining for some more materials. I found iron and coal too. I made a furnace and smelted the iron, then used it to craft some iron tools and boots. Best of all, I crafted an iron sword. Then, I built an armory where I could store all of my new tools. This base is coming together. We'll be able to take on Gary and his gang in no time. On days 13 to 15, I wanted to find a way to get stronger, so I talked to Byron the Bison for some advice.
Well, I reckon the best strength in the world is experience. You ought to go on a quest or two and get better at helping others out. Then you'll get stronger. Also, you'd best get yourself some armor for the job.
Thanks so much, Byron. I gathered silver and crafted myself some armor. Then I headed out to explore the forest. Now it's time to find a quest. But where is someone who I can help? I looked around, but couldn't see anyone that might have a quest for me. How was I supposed to get experience if no one needed me to do anything? Then, I saw a pumpkin boss shaking an apple tree. Hi there, do you need some help with the apples?
Hey, you're the sheriff trying to go up against Gary the Guster. Let me teach you a lesson.
He attacked me, but I was ready. I had my new armor to protect me. And I had my new sword, too. I dodged his attack and slashed at him, knocking him back. After a lot of tough back and forth, I was able to win. I did it! I did it! Then, I noticed he dropped something, a shed snakeskin. Hey, I bet I can use this to craft something. I took the snakeskin back to my base and crafted a vine lasso with it. Wow, I can use this to wrangle bad guys and bring them back to jail. On days 16 to 19, I decided to explore some more and see what I could find. I ended up coming across an abandoned mine and looked inside. There was a chest in there. I opened it and I found an old diary belonging to a miner that left it behind ages ago. Gary the Guster came through town again, telling us to give him diamonds. I heard a rumor that he's building a base not too far from here, but no one's been able to find it yet. I have my suspicions that it's out in the forest over yonder. Wow, so Gary's base must not be too far away. Maybe I can find it, but first, I'll have to get even stronger so I can defeat him. Before I could do anything else, I was attacked by a gang of Mandragora.
This is what happens when you go up against Gary the Guster.
But they were no match for my new armor and sword. Just like with the pumpkin boss before, I fought them hard and was able to defeat them. As a few of them ran away, I yelled after them, "Tell Gary he won't be picking on people for much longer." On days 20 to 22, I traveled back to the village. When I got there, I saw some plague rats bothering some villagers. I fought them and took them out easily. Wow, I'm getting good at this. On the way back to the sheriff's station, I found some silver I could use to upgrade my gear and my armor. With that taken care of, I was feeling strong enough to go fight the werewolf and help Rhonda get back her nest.
You again? I thought I already taught you a lesson.
Well, I'm back, and I'm strong enough to fight you now. With my new armor and sword, I was able to hold my own against the werewolf. He knocked me back, but I didn't drop my sword, and I kept fighting. Then I pulled out my secret weapon, the vine lasso. I captured the werewolf in the lasso and started pulling him back to the jail. You're going to jail.
You ain't got what it takes to bring down Gary the Guster. He took out my whole gang, and I had to hide in those caves when he came to town. You go up against him, and you're toast.
On days 23 to 26, I threw the werewolf into one of the empty jail cells. Well, Rhonda, you can go back to the caves now. Your nest is safe, and your eggs are waiting for you.
Thank you so much, Zozo. I'll never forget what you did for me. And I'll be sure to come back and visit once my eggs have hatched.
I can't wait.
By the way, you should build a guard tower. It will help keep you safe here.
Rhonda was right. It would be a good idea to have a guard tower so we could keep a lookout. I started constructing one right away. When the guard tower was done, I realized I needed some ranged weapons. So I crafted some javelins too. I can really defend this place now. On days 27 to 31, I decided to travel to a snowy area to see if I could find some more snow golems like me. If I could, maybe they could help protect the village and take down Gary. I was enjoying the cold and looking around for some other snow golems when I saw some snow beasts. They looked lost, so I sent them back to my base, and they went off to find it. Next, I decided to gather some ice to take back to my base. If I had it there, I wouldn't feel so homesick as the only snow golem in the desert. Even if I didn't find any snow golems, it would make me feel much better. When I got back to the village, Mayor Earth Golem came up to me.
Sheriff Zozo, we need your help. Gary's gang came through town and kidnapped some of our villagers.
Oh no, of course I'll help.
And I'll come with you. What kind of mayor would I be if I didn't look out for my own people?
On days 32 to 35, the mayor and I went into the forest to find the kidnapped villagers and save them from Gary's gang. We spotted the horde of zombies and a bunch of villagers in cages. The zombies were laughing at them. Don't worry, everyone. You're safe now. We're coming to save you. I rushed at them with my sword drawn. The mayor followed me and tried to help fight too. One of the zombies knocked him down. Get away from him! I tried to stop them from hurting him, but the zombies destroyed the mayor. No! I swore I'd have revenge. In honor of the fallen mayor, I defeated the rest of the zombies and freed the villagers. But now the town is without a mayor. We need someone to lead the villagers. On days 36 to 39, I set off in search of a new mayor for the village. We need someone tough to help protect the villagers from Gary. I know, I'll go into the mountains. Only tough people can survive up there. So I went to the mountains and looked around. Is there anyone here who can be a mayor?
Are you looking for help?
I looked and saw Zeus, the king of Olympus, standing on top of a mountain. Yes, I am.
Well, I need help with something. If you can help me, I can be the mayor in return.
What is it?
A group of gremlins stole my treasured guitar. Jamming on that guitar was the only way to pass the time up here on this boring old mountain. Please, get it back for me.
It was a small price to pay to find a new, powerful mayor. I found the gremlins nearby, smashing the guitar into some rocks. Hey, that's not what rock music means. I fought off the gremlins and got the guitar back. Here you go, Zeus. Or should I say, Mayor Zeus.
Thank you. I'd be happy to be the mayor if the villagers are all as kind as you.
They are. We're trying to defeat Gary the Guster.
Ah, Gary. He's asking for diamonds, I bet. Well, I can tell you where a very good diamond mine is, if you want.
Yes, please. So Zeus gave me directions to the diamond mine. Things were really starting to come together. One way or another, I'd keep the village safe. On days 40 to 43, I returned home to the village and dropped off Mayor Zeus at his new house. Back at the sheriff's station, I decided to spiff up the place. I added torches and bookshelves for extra light and to give me and Deputy Byron something to read on our downtime. Once I was done, I checked in with Byron to see what he thought.
Say, this looks great, Sheriff. But with so much new danger, we need more deputies. Let's make a deputies wanted sign.
Great idea! I added a sign outside the station. New deputies wanted. and pretty soon, villagers started showing up to apply for the job. 6 new deputies joined. I built a barracks onto the base with bunk beds, so they would all have a place to sleep. Gary the Guster won't know what hit him when we take him on. One of the snow beasts came to find me while I was working.
We heard a rumor about an ice cave where another snow golem is living. You should check it out and see if he can help us.
Wow, thank you! Another snow golem. It almost sounded too good to be true. On days 44 to 49, I journeyed to the ice cave to search for the other snow golem. When I got there, I couldn't see anyone at first, but then I saw a shadow in the cave. Hello? I walked toward the opening of the cave, but Gary the Guster appeared.
Yeehaw! I knew you'd fall for my trap. I hear you've been rustling up a team to try and beat me. Well, I can't have that.
You're such a bully, making people get diamonds for you. Why do you even need so many anyway?
You sure do ask a lot of questions, Sheriff. I'll have you know it's my dream to live in a mansion made out of nothing but diamonds. I don't care how many towns I have to destroy to get them, neither.
That's terrible.
Never said I was nice. Now I gotta mosey on back to my diamonds, but I'm not letting you go that easy. Alpha Coyote, get him.
Gary whooshed away, and in his place, there was an alpha coyote. He was pretty big and strong too, but I knew I could take him. I drew my sword and got ready for a fight. On days 50 to 53, I fought hard against the alpha coyote.
You might as well give up now. I'm so much bigger than you.
You may be big, but I'm brave and strong, and I have the support of my friends to keep me from giving up. With a decisive strike from my sword, I defeated the alpha coyote. I did it! I won! Well, I won this battle. There's more to come. Hey, wait, what's this? I looked on the ground where the alpha coyote fell at the end of our fight. There was a journal. Hey, this says property of Gary the Guster inside. It must belong to him.
Dear Diary, I built the best dang hideout this Wild West has ever seen. It's so sparkly, made up of all those diamonds I took from the villagers. And no one will find me here between the 2 tallest mountains in the region. They'll never get rid of Gary the Guster and his gang of goons.
Hey, I know where those mountains are. When the time comes, I'll be able to find Gary's base after all. On days 54 to 57, I ventured deeper into the ice caverns. I wasn't going to give up my search for another snow golem now. I had to keep looking and see if there was really someone here, or if it was all just one of Gary's traps. In the distance, I could see the light of a fire. There was someone here. As I got closer, I could see that some of the zombies from the Guster gang of goons were gathered around the fire, and they had a snow golem with them. Oh no, I have to help him escape. I stayed back and out of sight and threw one of my javelins at the zombies. I had the element of surprise, and they scattered when it hit. Take that, you undead outlaws!
Hey, where did you come from? This is our hideout and you're trespassing.
No, you're the ones who are trespassing. Instead of getting into an argument with them, I decided to get right to the fighting instead. I rushed in with my sword and fought them with everything I had.
Quick, let's get out of here.
The zombies ran out of the caverns, leaving me with the snow golem. I'll get you out of here.
Not so fast.
I turned around, and there was an axe sticks.
You're not taking this prisoner without a fight, unless you've got those 100 diamonds for Gary.
You'll never get those diamonds from me. I took axe sticks down and let the snow golem free.
Hey, look!
Oh, it's a power potion. I drank it and grew bigger, and I gained 2 more hearts. Wow, that's amazing!
Thank you so much for letting me go. Gary has been taking out all of the golems, so there will be no one left to protect the villagers. I was so scared that I was the only one left.
Well, now you know you're not alone. Come back to my base with me. We've got a whole bunch of people to help. Gary won't get away with it this time. On days 58 to 62, I worked on improving things at the base. The sheriff's station was pretty great, but it could still get even better. The villagers had all the food we could need, but we needed to make way more tools and weapons. I expanded the crafting area and the armory, so we'd have lots of space for more equipment. Then I headed off to the area Zeus told me about, where I could find lots of diamonds. I went down into the mine there, and sure enough, there they were! Yes. I used my iron pickaxe to mine the diamonds, and took them back to the base. I used all those diamonds to make diamond armor, a pickaxe, and a sword. Next, I thought about how I might need to gather extra food while traveling to new places. A fishing rod could help me catch fish on the go, so I crafted a fishing rod to help me, in case I ever needed it. On days 63 to 66, Mayor Zeus came to visit me at the sheriff's station. What can I do for you, Mayor?
Did you get a chance to check out the diamond cave I told you about?
I did, thank you. There were lots of diamonds there. I used them to upgrade my gear though.
That's okay. I thought you might need to do that. I wanted to tell you that I heard about another cave with lots of diamonds to mine.
Really? Thank you. That's great news.
Happy to help. I'll keep an ear out for more diamond news too.
I really missed my old friend Mayor Earth Golem, but Zeus was doing his legacy proud and seemed to really care about the village. I set off to the new cave to mine for more diamonds. Inside, I saw a group of little Kados. I could hear them whispering to each other.
I'm telling you, the boss is out there somewhere.
Boss? Are they talking about Gary the Guster?
He's a werewolf. He's tough.
Not as tough as Gary. There's no way he survived that attack. We're doomed. We'll be next.
Wait, these must be members of the werewolf's old gang. I wonder if they'll try to fight me.
Hey, are you the sheriff?
Why do you want to know?
We hear you're trying to fight Gary the Guster, and we want to help.
Really? That would be great.
If you can help us rescue more of our old gang, we promise to all help you out. They're in an underground base deep in these caves.
You got it. Go back to my base at the sheriff's station, and I'll come meet you when I've rescued your buddies. Also, your old leader's there in jail. Sorry about that. On days 67 to 70, I traveled deeper into the caves in search of the underground base. If I could find more of the werewolf's gang, that would be even more deputies to fight with me. Look at me, turning outlaws into good guys. Mayor Earth Golem would be so proud of what a great sheriff I'm becoming. Before I could celebrate my progress anymore though, I spotted a Nightwalker mage holding another group of little Kados prisoner. Those must be the rest of the gang they were talking about. How can I get them out of here? He looks pretty dangerous. I don't know if I can fight him and make it out. I started looking around for a way to sneak by the Nightwalker mage, but I couldn't find anything. I guess I'll have to be brave and try to fight him, even though I'm scared. I thought about my friends and how they'd all faced so much danger with me so far. If they could do it, so could I. I attacked the Nightwalker mage, and he flew into the air to dodge my attack. This looks like a job for my vine lasso. I tossed it at the Nightwalker mage and caught him. I pulled him back down to the ground, and while he was trapped, I attacked him with my sword. He broke free, but not before I got a good hit in. The Nightwalker mage teleported behind me, but I spun around and got him again. It was a pretty intense battle, but eventually I was able to win with the help of my vine lasso and my shiny new diamond sword.
Thank you, stranger.
I'm no stranger. I'm the sheriff.
Oh no, are we under arrest?
No, I'm here to save you. Go back to my base at the sheriff's station. Your friends will be there, and you'll see that everything is going to be okay. On days 71 to 74, I traveled to a river to try out some fishing. I hadn't done it before, and I wanted to get good at it in case I needed to catch a fish in a hurry. As I was walking along the river, I saw a strange message on the ground. If you're enjoying this adventure, find more Zozo videos by searching for ZO, and don't forget to like and subscribe. That's pretty weird. Anyway, back to fishing. I caught a few fish, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. But then, Gary the Guster showed up.
Sheriff fishing on the job, eh? Should be out there mining for my diamonds if you want that village of yours to survive.
Why can't you just leave us alone?
I will, once you give me what I want.
That's not fair.
Life ain't fair.
We rushed at each other, and I pulled out my sword and my vine lasso.
You think you can lasso me like cattle? I'm no cowboy.
I tried my best, but it wasn't enough to defeat him. I didn't want to run, but I needed to stay alive to get stronger and to help my friends. So I turned and I ran all the way back to my base. Next time, I'll be ready. On days 75 to 78, I got to work on my base again. Now that I know how strong Gary is, after trying to fight him again, I know we need to make the base even better. Byron had a great idea for how to improve it.
What if we build an underground bunker? Somewhere we can hide out if we need to, if he comes to attack us before we're ready.
Perfect! I got to work building the bunker, and before long, we had a great big underground hideout to go to if Gary attacked before I was strong enough to beat him. After I was done, some of the little Kados from the werewolf's gang came up to me with a book.
It's the magic book to help you get bigger and stronger.
Wow, thank you! I tried some of the magic from the book, and sure enough, I grew bigger and gained more hearts. What an amazing gift! They really are good guys after all. On days 79 to 84, I decided to test my new strength on some mobs. I went out into the desert with my sword and my lasso and found some skeletons to fight. Taste the lasso, boneheads! I rounded them up and took them all out. After I defeated the last of the skeletons, a desert lord came up to me. Is he going to try and fight me too? But to my surprise, he gave me a gift instead.
Thank you for getting rid of the skeletons. They've been making so much trouble here. As the lord of this desert, I present you with this sharpness enchantment, which will increase the power of your sword.
Awesome! So now I'm stronger, and my sword is stronger too. This is great! On days 85 to 89, I came back to the base, only to find it under attack by an army of zombies. Of course, this has got to be the work of Gary the Guster. There were so many of them, it would be dangerous to get close. Thankfully, I had some of the javelins I made earlier. You're about to find out why you don't mess with the sheriff, zombies. I threw javelin after javelin until I had the zombie gang on the run. With the help of the rest of my deputies, we were able to run the undead outlaws out of town. But it wasn't just my base they were interfering with. The zombies were causing trouble all over town while I was gone. One of the villagers ran over to me and told me that while the zombies were ransacking the town, they took one of his chickens. Don't worry, villager, I'll have that chicken back to you safe and sound. I chased the remaining zombies out into the woods, and I saw the chicken running along with them. That must be the villager's chicken. But the zombies had such a head start now. I didn't know if I could catch up to them in time. Wait, the javelins can come in handy here too. With a few well-placed throws, those zombies were done for, and the chicken was free. Come on, little chicken, let's get you back to your owner. I brought the chicken back to his owner, who was so happy to see him. The villager thanked me for getting his chicken back, and felt terrible that he didn't have anything to give me as a reward. Don't worry about it. The only reward I need is knowing I did a job well done. On days 90 to 94, I followed the trail of zombie footprints and destruction until I finally found a cave with a sign out front. Get out of these parts or face the wrath of the Guster Gang. This has gotta be it, their secret hideout. I better check it out. I snuck into the cave and saw that it was empty, except for one strange figure standing there, like he was waiting for me. Who are you?
I'm the Soul Leader, and I'm here to make sure you don't mess with the boss's plans no more.
Why would you work for him? What he's doing is wrong. He's hurting so many people, all because he's greedy.
Nothing wrong with a little greed. It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sheriff. We're all just trying to get fed.
But isn't it better to be nice, to help others, and know that they'll help you in return?
What kind of sucker helps people? That ain't this kind of town.
But it could be.
Enough chatter. Turn and draw your weapon, Sheriff.
I drew my sword and my vine lasso, ready for a fight. After all of my recent experience, I was feeling pretty good about it. But when the Soul Eater rushed at me, I knew I was wrong. This wasn't an ordinary fight. He was incredibly fast and strong. Definitely the toughest fighter of the Guster Gang I had met so far. I didn't have much time. I had to think fast. I ran backwards away from him and pulled out a javelin. Let's finish this! On days 95 and 97, I continued battling the Soul Eater in the Guster Gang's secret cave hideout. It was pretty close, but putting some space between us and throwing a javelin helped me to do some crucial extra damage and get the advantage I needed. While the Soul Eater was recovering, I tied him up in my lasso and rushed him with my sword.
Oh, this can't happen. You're weak.
I'm strong now. With the Soul Eater beaten and not going anywhere, I decided to look around the hideout for anything I could use. Hey, a battle axe! Awesome! You're coming with me. I turned back to the Soul Eater. And so are you. Let's get you back to the jail and you can start talking. I took the Soul Eater back to the sheriff's station and put him in the other cell there. Tell me what you know about Gary the Guster.
Fine. I can draw you a map to the diamond castle he's building. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that would be great.
Then you'll let me go?
Only if you promise to try being a good guy.
If it gets me out of here, then sure. Here, Sheriff. No tricks. It's real.
Now I knew exactly where to go to get Gary once and for all. On day 98, after I got the map from the Soul Eater, I decided to walk around my base and check in on everything. All my new deputies were doing great, settling into their duties. As I was seeing what the deputies were doing, I heard someone come to the door. It was Rhonda, and she had a bunch of baby roadrunners with her.
Children, this here is Sheriff Zozo. He helped me get back to you when you were still eggs in the nest. I owe him a lot of thanks.
Oh, Rhonda, I'm so glad you and your babies are doing well.
You're a hero, Sheriff Zozo. Never forget that.
Next, Byron came to talk to me.
Sheriff, it's been an honor to be your deputy. Thank you for giving this old bison a chance to help save my village. Take this potion of strength as a token of my appreciation.
Thank you so much, Deputy Byron. Mayor Zeus stopped by to see me next.
I never thought I'd be a mayor, but you believed in me. I believe in you too, Zozo. Don't forget, fellows like Gary are driven by greed and nothing else. Friendship and goodness are so much stronger, and they'll win in the end, every time. Remember that.
It seemed like everyone believed in me, and with amazing friends like these in my corner, Gary wouldn't stand a chance. On day 99, I followed the map I got from the Soul Eater. It was now or never, with only one more day left before Gary would come to collect his ransom. There was no way I was going to let him destroy the village. As I was walking there, a pigeon flew by overhead.
You can do it, Zozo!
Thank you, pigeon. I reached a massive castle made of diamonds, surrounded by zombies and skeletons. He has this many diamonds already, and he wants even more? This guy's the worst. There were so many enemies outside, I wasn't sure if I could take them all on by myself. But then, my trusty deputy Byron the Bison showed up.
Didn't think I'd let you do this without your first deputy, your right-hand man, did you?
Day 100, Byron and I fought our way through the zombies and skeletons and headed into the Diamond Castle. There were so many of them, it was a miracle we got through. How can this guy afford to pay all these goons and build a Diamond Castle?
We've got to keep fighting, Zozo. We're almost there.
You're right, Byron. We can do this. Inside, Gary the Guster was sitting on top of a diamond throne.
Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged in.
We're here to end this, Gary. Your reign of terror is over.
Well, ain't that a hoot? Listen, little sheriff, you can't fight the wind. I'm a force of nature, and I ain't going nowhere.
Too bad. We're here to shut you down. I pulled out my trusty vine lasso and got ready to wrangle Gary. But before I could, he threw sand in my eyes and I dropped it. I couldn't see what I was doing.
I'll be your eyes, Zozo. Dodge to the left. He's gonna attack.
I listened to Byron and dodged. It helped me avoid Gary's hit.
Hey, that's cheating.
Blinding people before a fight is cheating, Gary. And Gary didn't let up. I could feel the force of his mighty winds trying to blow me away. But Byron was still there to help.
Rush at him with your sword. Straight forward.
You can't do this dance forever, cowboy.
I don't have to.
What in tarnation?
I rushed at Gary with my sword, and Byron ran at him too. Together, we dealt one huge blow, and Gary dissolved. He was gone. Is it really over?
It's really over. Let's say you and I get back to the town and rustle up some celebratory grub.
That sounds good to me.
You make a darn good sheriff, Zozo.
And thanks to us, Gary the Guster and the Guster Gang would never hassle another town again. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a shapeshifter. Whoa, that's a cool special ability. I wonder how far I can go with it. But I didn't have long to think about that, because a gang of wither skeletons with bows and swords showed up and started chasing me. Darn it, I wish I could go faster, but I'm only a baby shapeshifter, and that means I've only got 3 hearts. But even though I was weak, that didn't mean I couldn't shapeshift. I hid behind a rock and turned into a rabbit. Nobody ever suspects a rabbit. The wither skeletons kept searching until they found my little rabbit self, acting casually. The leader of the wither skeletons immediately clocked me.
There he is, boys. Grab him.
The wither skeletons immediately surrounded me, giving me no chance to escape. Wait, how did you know it was me?
There are no rabbits in the Badlands. You've still got a lot to learn, shapeshifter. Let's take him to the jail.
On day 2, the wither skeletons dragged me over to the Badlands jail. You can't do this! I'm too young to go to jail! But that didn't seem to persuade them. They threw me in a cell with another prisoner, a Quillbeast. I had to figure out what was going on. Hey, Mr. Quillbeast, I'm Zozo. What's your name, and what are you in for? The name's Quilliam. I don't know why I'm here. I was just wandering the Badlands when suddenly the wither skeletons arrested me and dragged me here. Don't worry, Quilliam. I have an idea for how we can both escape. No offense, Zozo, but I really don't know how a rabbit could launch a jailbreak. That's the thing. I'm not a rabbit. I'm a shapeshifter. I used my power to turn into a wither skeleton, just like the ones who ran the Badlands prison. We used one of Quilliam's quills to pick the lock, and the 2 of us walked down the hall together. Another wither skeleton stopped us on the way.
Hey, where are you 2 going?
I'm just taking this prisoner to a different cell block. Nothing to see here.
Fine, I suppose. On your way.
In my wither skeleton disguise, Quilliam and I slipped out of the Badlands prison without a second thought. That was amazing, Zozo. You saved both of us in there. These shapeshifting skills really come in handy. I can't wait to get better at them. On day 3, I decided to continue my escape and make my way into the jungle. It'd be way harder for the bad guys to find me amongst all these dense trees. But if I really want to fit in here, I can't just be a wither skeleton. I need a real jungle disguise. That's why I shapeshifted into an orangutan. Orangutan is Malay for person of the forest, so it makes for a perfect jungle disguise. All this shapeshifting was hungry work, so I explored the forest and gathered up some tasty melons to eat. Delicious and nutritious. But while foraging, I encountered a mysterious wooden villager meditating in a clearing. Sorry to interrupt you, wooden villager, but is everything okay?
Everything is more than okay, now that you're here, Zozo.
What? How did you know my name?
I know many things. I am Amma, the jungle mystic. I have long traveled this jungle in search of a hero to whom I can reveal the great truth of the world. Do you believe you are that hero?
Well, I'd like to be, for sure.
Good, then follow me. There is much to learn.
On days 4 to 5, Amma the jungle mystic led me deeper into the forest, where he started to explain what was going on here. So, does the problem here have to do something with the wither skeletons?
No, the wither skeletons are irrelevant to the true issue here, Zozo. You see, this forest is overrun with vicious tribal gremlins. Alone, they may not look like much, but together, they can pose a major threat. For the sake of the world's peace and safety, we must see to it that they are defeated. We have less than 100 days to exterminate them before things really get out of hand.
Wow, that sounds like a tall order. These tribal gremlins must be really scary. How should I fight them?
Don't worry about fighting them just yet. I'll be able to help you plan the best course of action. For now, take these tools and start building yourself a base.
Amma the jungle mystic gave me a set of stone tools, and I left him to go find a clearing in the jungle where I could start building my base. I immediately started cutting down trees for wood and mining for stone. My base was already coming along nicely when suddenly a wither skeleton scouting party appeared out of the woods.
He's gotta be around here somewhere. Come on, boys, let's find this slippery little crate.
I needed to think fast. Obviously, a rabbit was no good, and they'd probably be expecting another wither skeleton. What could I turn into that would save me? Oh wait, I've got it! I shapeshifted into a wither boss and floated over to the wither skeletons. What are you boys doing out here slacking off? This is unacceptable!
But boss, somebody escaped the prison. We need to go track them down.
Forget about one lousy prisoner. Go back and stand guard to make sure more don't get out. And that's an order.
Yes, Wither Boss, sir.
The wither skeletons turned tail and marched out of the forest. I breathed a sigh of relief, and my shapeshifting skills paid off because I earned enough XP to level up. Whoa, I have 6 hearts now, and I can shift for longer. This is awesome. On day 6 to day 8, I took the form of a baboon so I could finish building the house, and it looked amazing. I decided to explore for a bit. As I was walking through the jungle, I noticed something a little strange. Wait, where are all the animals? Is this something to do with the tribal gremlins that Amma the jungle mystic was telling me about? As I was gathering some coal, a stray ran past me. Whoa there, everything okay, Stray?
There's no time to talk. I need to keep running. Get out of my way!
You're safe here. Explain yourself.
My town was destroyed by the Red Nightmare and his forces. He's taking over everything. If you had any brains in that baboon head of yours, you'd run while you still can.
And then he ran off, leaving me confused. Red Nightmare? I'd never heard of that. So I decided to find Amma the jungle mystic again and ask him what he knew.
Ah, yes, the Red Nightmare. He's another terrible force associated with those tribal gremlins I told you about. Perhaps it's time to arm yourself against the coming struggles. If you make your way to the snowy tundras and find the Frost Weaver, you'll be able to obtain a mace by defeating it. Go now! The tribal gremlin threat advances ever closer.
On days 9 to 10, I shifted into a snow leopard so I could both move faster and stand the cold. Then I made my way out to the snowy tundra to begin my search. I'm gonna find you, Frost Weaver! But what I didn't expect was that the Frost Weaver would find me first. It was huge and ferocious, and it attacked me as soon as it saw me. He spit poison webs at me, which really slowed me down. I figure I can't ask you nicely to hand over the mace then? The Frost Weaver didn't feel like chatting with me. Instead, it relentlessly attacked, knocking off a couple of my hearts. There was no way I could defeat a monster this powerful, but to my luck, I suddenly saw a snow golem running towards me. Golems have a natural protection instinct, so I was really in luck here.
Don't worry, kid. I'll give you a hand.
The snow golem joined me in the fight, and we were able to turn the tide. Soon, the Frost Weaver was defeated, and I had picked up the special mace he dropped. Thanks for helping me there, snow golem. I really owe you one.
Think nothing of it. Why don't you come back to my cave with me? My family and I could make you some dinner.
So we traveled back to the ice cave where the snow golem and his family, some baby snow golems, lived. He gave me some mushroom stew that helped replenish my missing hearts.
I suppose you're out here fleeing from the Red Nightmare. That's why most people come to brave these frosty wastes.
The Red Nightmare? As in the tribal gremlins?
Tribal gremlins? I've never heard of any such thing. How strange.
Well, I better go ask Amma about it. Thanks for the stew. On days 11 to 12, I assumed the form of a formidable Komodo dragon and returned to my base. Amma, the jungle mystic, was waiting for me. Amma, something isn't right. I got the mace, but while I was out in the snowy tundra, I met a snow golem who knew about the red nightmare, but not the tribal gremlins. How could that be?
I wouldn't worry about it, Zozo. Instead, go to this cave I've marked out on your map. You can mine some iron ore there, and perhaps use it to upgrade your armor or gear. It will be vital in the coming struggles. Once you have your iron, you can begin the attack on the tribal gremlin camp to the left of here.
Okay, if you say so, Amma. Still, it's a little weird, to say the least. I went to the cave that Amma marked out for me. I made my way in and started mining the iron ore. There was a decent amount of it down there, but not enough to do what I really needed. I did grab the extra coal that was there, though. Then, when I left the cave, I was ambushed by a lurker, one of the nastiest little creatures in the jungle. Thank goodness I have my mace with me. With one swing of my mace, I'd smushed that nasty creature and was off on my way to the tribal gremlin camp. From day 13 to day 15, I came across a path. This must be the way to the village. I took the form of a gremlin so nobody would really notice me, and I followed the path. I arrived at the tribal gremlin camp. It was basically a huge village made of tree houses in the jungle. I was expecting it to be scary, but honestly, all the tribal gremlins seemed weirdly peaceful. I decided to talk to one of them to see what was going on. Hey, fellow gremlin, you looking forward to causing some more chaos in the forest today? He just looked confused.
Chaos? What are you talking about?
I turned and saw a very chubby, stern-looking tribal gremlin chief sitting behind me.
There will be no chaos around here, boy. We need to stay organized if we want to have any hope of defeating the Red Nightmare.
The tribal gremlins wanted to fight the Red Nightmare too? I thought they were in league with them. Nothing was making sense. I needed to go back to my base and talk to Amma the Jungle Mystic immediately. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to my base. I took the long way back through the jungle, trying to figure out some kind of reasonable explanation for what had happened. Could Amma have been lying to me this whole time? But why? When I arrived back at my base, there was a tribal gremlin waiting for me. He looked like he was in a panic.
Stranger, we need your help. Something terrible has been attacking our village.
Something terrible? I'll come right away. But by the time I arrived at the village, it looked like the worst had already happened. The village was in ruins. The tribal gremlin chief was dead. Only his mask remained. And standing in the middle of it all was Amma. Amma, how could you? The tribal gremlins are friendly and peaceful.
To you, perhaps, but to my plans, they were a frustrating inconvenience.
What do you mean, your plans?
I never told you my full name, did I? I'm a shapeshifter like you see. Some call me Amma, but my true name is Amogolish, perhaps better known as...
Suddenly, Amma shapeshifted into a huge, blood-red creature, the true Amogolish. Wait, you're the Red Nightmare?
Very clever, Zozo. I thought I could trick you into destroying the tribal gremlins for me, but it seems you're completely useless. So you can be destroyed with them!
I was so angry that I turned into a huge vile ogre and charged at Amogolish, the Red Nightmare! He would never use me to do evil! But I underestimated how strong he was. With one strike, he knocked me down from the bridge and everything faded to black. From day 20 to day 22, I woke at the bottom of what remained of the destroyed tribal gremlin village. I'd failed. I'd let them all down. But thankfully, at least some of them had survived Amogolish's monstrous attack.
But now we have no place to live. We can't just survive out here in the jungle. He'll pick us off one by one.
That's when I turned into a horse. Nobody is living out in the jungle. Hop on my back, and I'll let you come live at my base. We can work together and stop Amogolish from destroying anywhere else. One by one, I took all the remaining tribal gremlins back to my base and started building a barracks for them. If Amogolish thinks he can destroy us all, we're not gonna go down without a fight. From day 23 to day 26, I traveled out to the desert. That jungle humidity can be killer sometimes. I decided to turn myself into a roadrunner so I could run extra fast across the sand. Meep meep. It feels good to feel the wind blow between my feathers. But I had to stop when I saw a sun god being attacked by a gang of enhanced Arapedes. They must have been sent by Amogolish. Don't worry, sun god, I'm here to help. I ran in and started circling around the Arapedes, distracting them from attacking the sun god. That gave the sun god a chance.
I unleash the power of the sun!
He sent out a powerful sunblast, hitting and vaporizing the Arapedes, and he never could have done it without me.
I never could have done it without you, Zozo. In exchange, I give you the blessing of the sun. From now on, you will be stronger and faster in daylight. You will also gain a few hearts.
That's such a cool power. Thank you, Sun God. And the 2 extra hearts will come in handy.
May my blessings be with you.
From day 27 to day 31, I went back to the jungle. I missed all those lush green trees. On the way back to the base, I found some sheep wandering around the jungle. They seemed lost, so I decided to take a stone guard form and shepherd them back to my base. When they were back, I started to build a pen for them. Now I can have as much wool as I want. This is perfect. I also decided to make a bigger wall around my base to protect me, the sheep, and my tribal gremlin guest from Amogalish and his minions. Meanwhile, in Amogalish's evil lair, he was meeting with his deadliest warrior, the Behemoth, a huge demon knight.
What would you have me do, Master?
I thought this Zozo could be useful, but it seems he's just a thorn in our sides. If we are to dominate this world, he and those who ally with him must be destroyed. Make it so.
Yes, my master. I will destroy him personally.
From day 32 to day 35, I decided I'd wander the plains in search of new allies and weapons. I needed to figure out how to defeat Amogalish. Because I didn't want to get attacked by any monsters on my journey, I decided to shift into a mutant skeleton. Nobody would mess with that.
Stop right there, monster.
I turned and saw a gang of armed villagers ready to fight. They started firing arrows, and I was forced to dodge as fast as I could. Wait, stop! I'm not a monster, I'm Zozo. I'm just a shapeshifter. That got the villagers to calm down. They lowered their weapons and began to murmur amongst themselves before turning back to me.
Come with us, Zozo. We want to take you to our leader, the great King Midas, the ruler of gold.
They led me back to their village, where Midas was waiting for me in a golden throne in the middle of the village. He was certainly an impressive sight.
Ah, so my men brought you to me. There must be a reason. Why are you here, my boy?
I'm trying to find a way to slay Amogalish and get revenge for the tribal gremlins.
Correct answer. Amogalish, the Red Nightmare, has troubled our kingdom for generations. Me and my ancestors have tried to gather information about him for years, and I believe soon we will have the answers. When that time comes, come back to me.
From day 36 to day 39, I turned myself into a scarecrow just for fun and entered the mine in the village. I mined iron to complete my new set of tools and armor. And I got really lucky, because it wasn't just iron ore I found, I also found some diamonds. Not enough to craft just yet, but they were definitely worth keeping in my inventory for a rainy day. Though the most exciting thing I found down in that mine shaft was a dusty old book containing an unbreakable enchantment, which would make my new items unbreakable. I crafted a full set of iron tools, iron weapons, and iron armor before returning back to my base to rest. But sadly, there would be no rest. When I got back to my base, an Aztec warrior was already there, waiting for me.
King Midas sent me to collect you. He wishes to speak to you about a truly grave matter.
Then I suppose I better come along. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to the village to meet with King Midas. I wondered what had gotten him so worried, aside from the fact that I'd now shapeshifted into a gorilla for toughness.
Zozo, I'm glad you're safe.
Of course, Your Highness. Why wouldn't I be safe?
My spies have gotten word of a terrible development in the war against Amogalish. He has summoned his most dangerous minion, the Great Behemoth, and he has given him the instruction to destroy you personally.
Don't worry, King Midas. I've gotten a lot tougher than I used to be. I bet I could kick this behemoth guy's booty.
Why don't you say that to my face, weakling?
I turned and saw the behemoth was standing right behind me while the villagers fled in every direction. He was even bigger and tougher than I'd imagined. I charged up towards him and used all my gorilla strength to deliver a mighty punch. But the behemoth just shrugged it off. He hit me back and sent me skidding across the village square.
Take this new form, my boy, the Gold Golem, and use it in my name.
With my new Gold Golem strength, I pulled out my mace and attacked the behemoth. Somehow, he effortlessly blocked every hit and started rampaging around the village. I need to get out of here. I'm still not strong enough to beat even the henchmen yet. So, I fled the village while the villagers tried desperately to stop Behemoth. From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base, feeling so ashamed of myself for running away that I turned myself into a blobfish. I don't deserve to call myself a hero. I left all those poor villagers to fend for themselves. I'm a zero. As I was moping, none other than King Midas turned up, having survived the previous battle.
Zozo, I need to call on you yet again.
I don't deserve you, King Midas. I was a coward. I ran away.
Don't focus on the past, Zozo. We're not going there. I'm here because I have some important knowledge. There are legends of a sacred item, a mithril battle axe, that can be used to defeat the Red Nightmare.
A mithril battle axe? But I already have a sword and a mace, and neither of them help.
The mithril battle axe is more than just a weapon, Zozo. It's supernatural. It can give its users immense power, even granting them wishes. But it is legendarily hard to obtain. You will either need to find one or make one from mithril ore. The mountains would be the best place to begin your search.
From day 50 to day 53, I decided to take the form of a mountain troll and go searching through the mountains for information on the mithril hammer. Maybe if I find it, I can regain my honor after running away from Behemoth. The way up the mountain was tough. At the top, I searched and searched until I found a secret cave tucked away under one of the mountains. It seemed like the kind of place where something important might be hiding away. I put up some torches to light my way inside of the cave, but sadly I didn't find any mithril or a mithril battle axe in there. But I did find a book, labeled The Legend of Amalgalish. Hey, that's the guy I'm fighting. A book described how Amalgalish is an ancient evil who has tried to take over the world many times. But only someone who is of pure heart with a perfect weapon will be able to put him down for good and save everyone. Maybe I do have a shot after all. With at least some extra knowledge, I started heading back to my base. The way down was just as treacherous as the way up, but I eventually made it. When I reached the jungle again, I heard some commotion and I saw a Clink fighting a whole gang of scary jungle spiders. Don't worry, Clink, I'll help you. But by the time I reached him, he'd already defeated all the jungle spiders without breaking a sweat. He was clearly a lot stronger than I was. That was amazing, Mr. Clink. Want to come back to my base? I need someone to help train me how to fight like you.
Sorry, buddy, but I'm not the teaching type. Old Clink is too free-spirited to ever be tied down like that. Good luck with whatever you're doing, though.
From day 54 to day 57, having been rejected by Clink, I continued back to my base. Well, at least this day can't get any worse.
You have a big storm coming, Zozo.
I turned and saw that literally the last person I wanted to see right now was standing right behind me. Behemoth, Amalgalish's #1 goon. Oh no, not you again.
I believe we have some unfinished business. Square up and prepare to meet your doom.
I shifted into my gold golem form and pulled out my mace. This time, I was going to win. I charged straight at him with impressive speed, and with all my might, I swung the mace right into his face. And it had no effect. I still wasn't anywhere near strong enough to fight Behemoth, and all I could do was run away while he laughed at me. Meanwhile, back at Amalgalish's evil lair, he was receiving information from his top advisor, the impish Pixin.
Tell me, Pixin, how goes the war effort? Are our forces winning?
We've crushed resistance to the east. Our Wither Skeleton army has been successful in raiding the villages to the west. Soon, I'm sure, the north and south will fall too.
And what of Zozo? Has Behemoth destroyed that little brat yet?
Soon, my lord. Behemoth says that our mission will be even easier than he thought.
Delightful. Just delightful.
On day 58 to day 62, I returned to my base, feeling a little down in the dirt. So I turned myself into a swamp pig. I'm so ashamed of myself. It feels like I can't do anything right. But when I got back, I was so happy to see that the tribal gremlins had increased the size of my base. They built new rooms and a whole new floor.
It's the least we could do since you let us stay here with you, Zozo.
I was so touched by their kindness that I wanted to do something for them in return. I'd build a statue, but not just any statue, a tribute to the fallen tribal gremlin chief. I started collecting all the proper material when I happened upon an abandoned diamond mine out in the jungle.
I wonder if there are still diamonds down there. I went in and started to mine until I finally found enough diamonds to craft a pair of diamond armor pieces, a pickaxe, helmet, pants, and some cool boots. It isn't much, but it'll certainly help. From day 63 to day 66, one of the tribal gremlins approached me.
Zozo, I think I know where you might be able to find a mithril battle axe like the one you were looking for. There's a special cave out in the desert, one that's sacred to my people. We might be able to find it together.
That sounds like an excellent idea, Tribal Gremlin. Let's do it! We set off together until we reached the desert. With my shape-shifting powers growing by the day, I decided to shift into a guster so I could fit into the desert environment. After 2 days of walking, we finally found the cave. It looked deep and dark, and as I stepped forward to enter, the Tribal Gremlin stopped me.
Wait, Zozo, I just remembered something important. You can't go in the cave. Not yet.
Well, why not? We really need that mithril battle axe, Tribal Gremlin.
But you need to obtain a soul heart first. I've heard of legends that those who enter the cave without one lose their souls, so we need to seek one out.
Yeah, now that you mention it, that does seem like a pretty solid call. From day 67 to day 70, the Tribal Gremlin went home, and I continued exploring the desert, hoping to find a soul heart. It's a shame they don't just hand out those things, huh? Suddenly, I was distracted from my search as a coyote running towards me. He looked really worried.
Hey, stranger, mind lending me a hand? There's a nasty Sudaramu bothering me and my coyote brothers.
Sure thing. Maybe I can help defuse the situation. I ran after the coyote until I found a group of coyotes being attacked by a huge Sudaramu who was clawing at them. He looked like he was in a really bad mood. Sudaramu, stop bothering these coyotes.
Mind your own business, fool. This is between me and the coyotes.
The second you start bothering people, it is my business. Time to fight. I ran to the Sudaramu and began to fight. He was tough, but he didn't seem like he really wanted to destroy me. He just liked fighting people. So I gave him a good fight. Every time he swung his claws at me, I was able to dodge, then hit back. My hits barely bothered him, but he seemed like he enjoyed having the exercise.
Yeah, that was a good fight. I like your style, man.
You're a pretty good fighter yourself, Sudaramu. How about instead of fighting random coyotes, you go up against a real opponent, like helping me take on that demon, a Mogolish.
Now that sounds like a good time.
From day 71 to day 74, after not finding anything in the desert other than a cave I couldn't enter, I returned to the base, only to find that Behemoth was already there, and he was annihilating my base. By the time I got back, half of the base had been destroyed, and he was attacking the Tribal Gremlins trying to rest there.
Zozo, you're back. Good. I was getting bored destroying all your friends.
Behemoth, you monster! You're going down for this!
Try me.
I transformed into a Vex, pulled out my mace again, and attacked Behemoth. My rage fueled me, and this time, as I attacked him, it looked like I was actually doing some damage.
You've improved, Zozo, I'll give you that. But you're still nothing compared to me.
Behemoth hit me back, stunning me and taking down several of my hearts. And while I was stunned, he grabbed one of the Tribal Gremlins and ran off with him. Gremlin, no! But there was nothing I could do. After I got my strength back, I teamed up with the other Gremlins to rebuild the destroyed sections of my base and create a new guard tower to watch out for any future intruders. At a Mogolish's lair, he was laughing with glee as his army of monsters and skeletons prepared themselves for the next battle.
It is almost time. Soon I will wipe out the resistance, and all will be mine.
From day 75 to day 78, King Midas once again arrived at my base, carrying a gift.
Zozo, I have heard about your recent losses and your valiant attempts to get your hands on the mithril battle axe. In the meantime, please, as a token of my gratitude for all the work you've done, take this.
Oh, wow, King Midas, thank you. What is this?
It's a sword of undying, my old battle weapon from my adventuring days. It's not the mithril battle axe, but this is a powerful, well-forged weapon. I believe Behemoth keeps his own private lair out in the plains. Perhaps you should go show him how well you can use this new weapon.
From day 79 to day 84, I arrived at Behemoth's lair out on the plains with my sword of undying, ready to do battle. I stormed in, ran past the skeleton soldiers, and saw that Behemoth was waiting for me.
This is it, Zozo! I've gotten bored of playing with my food. You won't be leaving this lair. And when I've destroyed you, the master will give me power and riches.
Your creep of a master is never going to see you again, Behemoth.
Skeletons, grab this fool.
Skeletons surrounded me, but I managed to take them down without much effort. I focused on Behemoth next. Sword in hand, we fought. Behemoth was still incredibly strong, but I felt like I was finally ready to take him on. But as the fight went on, even though I was doing some good damage, Behemoth started to turn the tide. He fought harder and harder, hitting me again and again, watching my hearts drop. Even with the regeneration and extra absorption health the Sword of Undying gave me, I was still losing this fight. Everything I'd worked for was about to be for nothing.
You've been amusing, Zozo, but I won't miss you when you're gone.
Just as Behemoth was about to finish me off, one of the walls of his lair exploded, and Sudaramu broke in to save the day.
Zozo, eat this!
He threw me a golden apple. I'd never seen one like it before, and I immediately took a bite. Immediately, everything changed. I could feel myself getting bigger and stronger, and not just regenerating hearts, but doubling them. With the 16 hearts, I shifted into Ultimate Gold Golem, and with the Sudaramu at my side, I was ready to finish this. The two of us attacked the Behemoth together, giving him no chance to take us out. I climbed to the top of the gate wall and jumped on the Behemoth, swinging my sword at his head. He was defeated once and for all! I looked and saw that the destroyed Behemoth had dropped a soul heart onto the ground.
Now that was a good fight. Say, what's that thing he dropped?
Sudaramu, that's our ticket to the big time! From day 85 to day 89, while still out in the plains, I shapeshifted into a double-headed Vile Ogre. I stumbled upon some clay and dug it up to use on the tribal gremlin chief statue. This is gonna look awesome, and I bet my tribal gremlin roommates will really appreciate it too. I returned to the base and completed the statue. Seeing it there inspired me and reminded me of what really mattered, all the innocent people I was fighting for. With the statue done, I set off for the desert with the Behemoth Soul Heart in my inventory. I could finally enter the sacred cave and obtain the Mithril Battle Axe. It would be a great day! But when I entered, things weren't so easy. There were husks everywhere, and just as I was about to clear them all, a terrifying Jabberwock jumped out of the cave and started attacking me. I needed to pull out King Midas's sword to fight him off, and even then, it wasn't easy. Feels like nothing has been easy for me these last few months. But with the Jabberwock Cave Guardian defeated, I saw it there, waiting for me. The Mithril Battle Axe that would solve all of our problems. I picked it up and felt its power surging through my hands. Ignites and knocks back targets. Well, that is useful. Things are looking up at last. From day 90 to day 94, I emerged from the cave with the Mithril Battle Axe, wondering what I'd use it for first, when I saw that a Mogolish was standing right in front of me.
Hello again, Zozo. Think I'd let you get away with destroying my most powerful henchman? For that, I'm going to destroy you myself.
I didn't feel like talking to this monster. Instead, with the Mithril Battle Axe in hand, I charged at him, ready to strike. I got one hit in. He instantly hit me back and sent me flying. The hit was so hard, it knocked the battle axe right out of my hands. Before I could get up, he snatched the Mithril Battle Axe, even though I'd only just gotten it.
You won't be needing this anymore. In fact, I think I'll make much better use of it than you ever did. Goodbye, Zozo.
There was an explosion, and the desert ground beneath me caved in, trapping me in a pit. A Mogolish disappeared, off to do something awful, no doubt. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. From day 95 to day 97, I needed to do something clever to escape the pit. Thankfully, this was where my shapeshifting skills came in handy again. I turned into a bald eagle and flew right out of there, heading towards King Midas's village. With the Mithril Battle Axe lost, I needed to ask him for advice on what I should do next. But it was already too late. When I arrived at the village, I saw it had been completely ransacked. All the buildings were destroyed. I couldn't see any villagers. All that was left was King Midas, near death, next to his broken throne. I flew down and turned into a golden villager, approaching King Midas to see if there was anything I could do to help.
I'm sorry. It's already too late for me. Amalgalish used the Mithril Battle Axe to improve his power to unimaginable levels. He destroyed the entire village. You must stop him. You're our only hope.
I will stop him, King Midas. I promise. He'll pay for everything he's done. King Midas passed, and I journeyed back to my base. On day 98, I arrived back at the base and found that my worst fears had been made real. Amalgalish had come here too and destroyed everything. The base was in tatters, and most of the tribal gremlins were gone. I'd failed. I couldn't protect anybody or anyone. It seemed like Amalgalish was going to use the Mithril Battle Axe to rule the world. I felt so terrible about myself, I shapeshifted into a cockroach. Just as I was about to give up hope, one of the last tribal gremlins approached me. I'm so sorry that I failed, tribal gremlin. I let your people down from beginning to end.
But this isn't the end, Zozo. You can't give up. If Amalgalish could use the magical axe to destroy all this, then maybe, if you get your hands on the axe, you can make it all okay again.
And in that moment, I knew that the tribal gremlin was right. If that axe could get us into this, it might be the only thing that could get us out. On day 99, I shapeshifted into King Midas himself as a tribute to the great king's legacy. As him, I approached Amalgalish's base, wielding his Sword of Undying. To my surprise, Amalgalish himself came out to meet me, holding the Mithril Battle Axe, exactly as I'd hoped.
King Midas, this is impossible. I dealt you a lethal blow with the Mithril Battle Axe. You must be
Zozo, and I'll be taking that axe.
Yes, to the face.
This time, Amalgalish lunged at me first, upset at being tricked. But that's when I took my opportunity. As he swung the Mithril Battle Axe, I dodged and snatched it from his hands. Thanks, Amalgalish. I promise I'll bring it back. With the battle axe in hand, I ran back to my base as fast as I could, hoping that it still had some magic left over after all the damage that Amalgalish had done with it. I arrived back at my base and began to wish, holding the axe tightly in my hands. I wish for all the tribal gremlins to be brought back and for my base to be fully repaired. That's all I ask for. And seconds later, the axe vanished from my hands, never to be seen again. But my wish was granted. My base was back to normal, and all the tribal gremlins had been brought back.
You saved us, Zozo. Thank you.
And now, together, we can save everyone else. Like Amalgalish himself said, just one tribal gremlin doesn't count for much. But all of you together, we can bring Amalgalish down for good. Let's go save the world. On day 100, I led the tribal gremlin strike force straight into Amalgalish's lair. As wither skeletons poured out to fight us, the gremlins took them on.
Gremlin freedom forever!
And as the fight raged on, of course, Amalgalish crawled out of his lair, ready to fight me personally.
You worthless little creature. I should have destroyed you when you were small and weak. It would have saved me a lot of trouble.
It's too late for regrets now, Amalgalish. They won't do you any good.
Stubborn and arrogant to the end. Do you really think you can beat me? You're not even carrying a weapon.
I'm a shapeshifter, Amalgalish. Don't you know what that means?
What?
It means I am the weapon. And with that, I turned into my final form, a giant ender dragon.
No, this can't be. It isn't fair. I can't be defeated by some other lowly shapeshifter. I'm the most powerful being in the world.
But all that complaining didn't do him any good. I unleashed my most powerful Dragon's Breath attack on him, and by the time I was done, there was nothing left. Amalgalish was defeated! And once the tribal gremlins were done defeating the last of the wither skeletons, the world could finally be at peace once again.